Good evening, folks. It is Wednesday night. It is time for our community coaching hour. This is our contribution to the community for coaching, inspiring conversations, and for beautiful conversations with human beings who we know add value, weight, and worth to the week and to life. I'm broadcasting this simultaneously through the Avenues platform on YouTube. We're live on Facebook and we're live here on Instagram. I literally have two devices on at the moment, and I know that you can understand this is going to go a little crazy, but we're going to try our best to try and make this work. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the season finale of Keeping It Real. This has been a an endeavor of the Avenues team to bring you some wisdom during the week in these very trying times. I have some very special people on for the evening, some beautiful guests who I know will make their presence felt and whose wisdom will flow through their conversations. I mean, that's the hope, and I know it's going to happen. So, once again, I want to say a big thank you to all of you. A shout out to our Insta fam, lots of love to our Facebook family, and most importantly, to every young person out there who's trying to make a mark in life. Remember, keeping yourself moving in times of great uncertainty is the key to arriving at your destination. I know it sounds obvious, but sometimes that small reminder is a great way to look at life. I'm going to ask my producer, who's in the background here, Iba Sara Kharkunwar. Thank you so much for putting this together with all of us. Iba leads the media team at Avenues. I'm going to check my WhatsApp messages and make sure that we're all on cue here. Like you can see, this is the first time we're doing it. If there are any glitches, we apologize in advance, but we are doing our best to give you whatever we can in terms of value, wisdom, and conversation on all three platforms. Once again, we're live on Instagram at avenues.inspires. We're currently live on Facebook at Avenues Inspires, and we're live on our YouTube channel, Avenues Inspires. Here we go. It's time to get started. Let me pull up our music for the weekend. Sorry, for the week. We're in the middle of the week. Sorry. And our tracks are as you can hear them. Let me try and get them on for each of you so you know what we're dealing with. This is our theme song, and we're playing this for all of you. Just a second, everyone. For that to happen, I need to shut off my volume on the laptop. And we're going to do an impromptu setup of sound here for everybody. Here we go. I hope this works. Pausing that. So, Iba, if we've got our guests ready and aligned, I think we can begin in the next 2 minutes. Let me get our music started. And I hope that this sees the light of day. So, Iba, if we've got our guests boy, that's not happening, is it? 1 second. I think we've got this here live there, and that's off. Here we go. Music for everyone, because music rules the world. 1, 2, 3. Interesting. Well, it looks like we're glitching with our music today. And having said that, I think it's time for some very, very inspiring conversation with our guests. You know them. If you were on the posters a little earlier, if you saw the visuals, we have the inimitable voice of the hills, Lampang Siemle, who will be entertaining us and going live with us this evening. He's not just going to sing and perform. He's going to speak about life and the wisdom of his lessons that he's picked up as a traditional indigenous singer from our part of the world. Lampang is a proud member of the Khasi tribe of Northeast India in Meghalaya. And we're currently signing in from Shillong, which is the capital of Meghalaya. And we're very happy to see you all live with us this evening. So, on that note, I'm going to ask you all to just exercise your patience for just a minute more. We're going to try and do something special here. I'm hoping this works. If it doesn't, well, we'll try it some other day. But we'll give this a try, shall we? Every week we choose a soundtrack that becomes the soundtrack of our show. I'm going to try and put that in place right here today. Let's see if that works out. For those of you who are signing in right now, this is episode 10 of Keeping It Real on the Avenues platform. And we're very, very grateful to have you with us. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to our theme song. Now, I don't know if you can hear me, but Iba, if you can, give me a thumbs up and let me know. Is the audio clear? It's all good? Let me bring you into our show. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is episode 10, our season finale of Keeping It Real on the Avenues platform. We are signing in from the hills of Shillong. This is Meghalaya in Northeast India. I'm proud to bring you beautiful interviews, inspiring conversation, and life coaching wisdom that I hope will be of value and service to each of you. To our fans on Instagram, am I audible? Is everything clear? If so, let us know. To our fans on Facebook and YouTube, are we audible? Are we clear? If so, let us know. And of course, my producer Eba, send me a message and let me know how this is going. Are we all good, guys? Super. Thanks, Preeti. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, students and fans, we're bringing in our very first guest of the evening. He is the inimitable golden voice of the Khasi Hills of Meghalaya, the one and only Lampang Siemle, who has represented our state and our culture in Switzerland at the conference called Initiatives for Change in 2017. He's also possibly the only A-grade All India Radio star in the indigenous and Western music categories. And he's really made his mark with 2 albums. He comes from a long line of illustrious singers, and we are proud to have him on the show. Here we go. Lampang, if you're there, we're bringing you on right now. Hi, Lam. We're unable to hear you.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
There we go. I can hear you now.
Hi.
All clear. How is the man?
Yeah. I'm doing well, thank God. And you?
We're all good, Lam. I've got my Instagram feed happening out here simultaneously.
Oh.
We have a YouTube feed going on as well.
Oh,
If there's been
great.
some mix-up or some accident inadvertently, we apologize in advance.
No
But
worries,
ladies
no
and
worries.
gentlemen, the man to my left is a contender for world title. Lam, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Eva, working behind the scenes. Thank you for and Avenues, the Avenues family. Thank you for having me this evening. So I'm
It is
super excited for this
it is a
program.
pleasure and a privilege, Lam. And I think I'm going to start the ball
Thank
rolling
you.
with some questions that are
Okay.
very, very, I think, tuned to who you are as an individual. And perhaps
All
you can
right.
give us some wisdom and some insight into why indigenous music is
Okay.
so close to your heart. So,
Mm-hmm.
on that note, Lam, I've always wanted to ask you,
Hmm.
when was your earliest memory of music in the house? What was
Oh
the
my.
first childhood memory you had of music?
The very first time was back in 1992, 1993. Uh, my mom was working in this documentary film with two German directors from the Panorama film industry based in Frankfurt, and that is where the sound of the Xing and the Duitara and the Bisli and my mom's melodious, Khasi tunes inspired me. Well, the truth is this: I actually grew up, listening to English songs and soul and jazz and pop. But then my heart knew that Khasi traditional music is the genre that I would like to, it's a dream for me to push and to present it to the world. So yeah, back in 1992, 1993, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I was still small.
92, 93. Lam, tell
Yep.
us about your journey through life as a musician, as a singer. There's a lot of young people here
Hmm.
who have an alternative talent that isn't
Hmm.
something you'd consider to be conventional in terms of work, in terms of a job. I
Hmm.
have my Instagram family to my left and my entire Facebook fans here for Avenues. And I think when you look back on this conversation, I'd like this to be an opportunity for you to leave behind some wisdom in the world now. Something that comes from your soul, from your heart, your truth to the world. Uh, I know it's probably been very difficult embracing music as a profession. a lot of families still tell their children, still tell their sons and daughters, this is not something real.
True.
You need to have a livelihood that you can depend on.
True. True.
What do you feel about this, Lam? Having all the success that you've had, what do you think?
Well, see, at the end of the day, if music, if you breathe, and if you live, and if you eat, and if you drink music, that will push you. Sometimes I have a few of my students who comes for vocal classes with me, and it was sad to know the truth that, yeah, like what you've said, they don't get encouragement from their family, and it's just like a hobby, so to say, for based on what they understand about music. But at the end of the day, we need to find our calling.
That's right.
And to understand that, we need to dig deep inside our heart, and to know where you will see yourself, say 5 years from now, or just maybe a year or two. You have the target. If you really want it, you work hard, because nothing, especially in music and any other art form, it doesn't come easy. There's no such thing as a shortcut to succeed. It's
You
all
know,
based on hard work. Yeah.
when I hear you speak about what you just said, you have a target, you work for it. Even in music, I guess the target can be a very, very large goal on the horizon of your life.
Exactly.
But how
Exactly.
do you tell someone, for example, to work against the grain of everyone saying this is a bad idea? This is not something that you should be doing. What does it take to actually get to a place where you can say, no, this is my path and I choose it?
Simply as this, you just believe in yourself, because no one can choose your path except you. And when you know there's talent in you that you've been blessed from God, you work hard for it. You work hard on it, and you never give up. See, I don't hate people, Mark, but I despise people who give up, especially in music and in talent. So I would encourage all of the young people out there listening and watching, never give up. Okay, all right. I mean, I was there. I understand, and but then nothing is impossible. You know, so that's my motto in my vocal classes. When you come to my class, nothing is impossible. Everything is possible.
I want to reiterate that for our
Yep.
fans here who can't see you right now. If you aren't on the
Okay.
Facebook live feed, on the YouTube live feed, Lampang Semle just gave us a pearl of wisdom. And what he said was, you just never give up, right, Lam? You just choose to
Exactly.
focus. And
Exactly.
if you're a beneficiary of Lam's training, and you ever find yourself in a room where you are being coached by Lampang, this is what he'll tell you. If you have the dream and you recognize within you that it's a calling from God, I think it's an obligation to yourself to pursue that as a dream, right?
Mm, mm, mm.
Ram, what are the values that you've picked up through life from family, from relationships, from your journey as a musician? Let's talk about the top three values that you carry with you into the world.
Okay. The number one is love. Okay, that
Now,
is one
love is
value
such a
that
huge, huge umbrella. How do you mean it when you say love?
exactly. When I say love, that means no matter how, no matter what people say, no matter what people, how much they judge you, and no matter how much they try to pull you down, always remember that love is the most important thing. Because see, at the end of the day, the truth is this: no one will ever want to see you rise up there, and no one never ever will ever want to see you succeed. But then when you believe, love, you believe, and you never give up again. These are the values that my mom taught, her being an artist herself. She see, when you sing, for instance, you sing out of love, and you portray love and believe that it'll work, and never give up, because even one soul, you can say you might be famous, but and you're blessed to be famous, but if you touch one soul, that's it. That is the
One
greatest.
soul.
Exactly.
That is gold. You know what Lam has just said is so beautiful and precious. If
Thank
you
you.
never give up and you choose to pursue what you love, you never know how you could touch one soul, change
Never.
one life, and sometimes that's all that's needed in the world. That one
Exactly.
step, that one soul. That was
Exactly.
beautiful, Lam. So that would be number
Thank
one.
you.
The first
Number
value
one.
Lampang's carrying into life is love. What's the second?
The second one is, again, like I said, believe. You
Belief.
need to have confidence. You have to have confidence in yourself and believe. And when you believe, you tend to work harder. You need not try too much. All right? You just believe and do it. You fail, doesn't matter. But you
Yeah.
just try and give your best. And one day you look back, say 2 years, maybe 5 years, you look back and then you'll just realize that, okay, I did it. And it's all about believing in yourself and pushing and trying. Failures are the pillars to success. So
You know what,
take it
Lam?
that way. Yeah.
I'm going to bring up my Instagram crowd here. They can't see
Okay.
you yet. We're going to try this
Oh
out.
my.
I want you
All
to
right.
tell them, let them know
Okay.
failures. What are failures?
Failures are the pillars to success.
Well, you heard it from Lam. Failures are your pillars to success. I think that's a golden rule to live by. Don't be afraid of those failures. They teach you so much more than success ever can. I really believe in that, Lam. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
it's
no problem.
confidence and
Yeah.
faith in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
love as a value
Mm-hmm.
for what you do. What
Mm-hmm.
would be number three?
Never give up.
Never give up. You heard him.
Never.
Never give up.
How many times people try to bring you down. Doesn't matter if you get support, doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Because if you really have that passion inside you, you can do it. And with these two values, love and belief, no one can ever pull you down. And you'll always be successful in whatever, small or big, doesn't really matter. As long as it creates, it creates change and create opportunities for other people to look up to and to work by what you've achieved. So these are the three values that I follow, and I dearly keep it in my heart and my soul.
So I'm going to reiterate that for our audiences again. Love
Okay.
for what you do, love for
Mm-hmm.
even those who try to pull you down when
Mm-hmm.
they know that they can't get to where you are. There's nothing left to do but to pull
Exactly.
you down. The second
Mm-hmm.
is belief in yourself, confidence in who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and taking that into life is, I think, the greatest strategy in the world. And the third thing that you said was to never give up.
Never give up. Yeah.
That was Lampang Siemle with some pearls of wisdom from his own life. Lam, I think we all want to know a very deeply moving question, and that is, what does life mean to you, Lam? What is life and living mean to you? Everything we knew 6 months ago has changed. The world isn't what it was.
True.
The next 6 months are unclear. Right
True.
now, as you sit in this show, what does life mean to you?
Life right now makes more meaning to me. It makes more sense to understand the value of family, to understand the value of relationships, to understand the value of time, to understand the value of health, and to understand the value of giving the best that you have, even at circumstances like these. These are the things that I've learned for the past, few months that we've been going through this pandemic. The whole world is going through the same. Um, it has brought family together.
Definitely.
We share. I would not like to use the word spend time, because I don't spend time. I share time with the ones that I love. So it's it's so beautiful to know that we share time with mom and my auntie and my brother and my nieces. We share time with movies, and there's so many things that we share. Then what I usually do personally is to pick up the phone and try to call, a relative, say once a day, get to know how they are. That we have time to do that now.
True.
And apart from that, for me personally, my music, well, actually, Mark, to be honest with you, for these past 2-3 months when it started, I had a good break. So it looks like it was long for me, but it was very short. But yeah, it was a bit of break for me from music. So I did not sing and I did not write and I did not coach. So, but then after that, I understood that I can do way, way better because I'm here at home and doing nothing. We need to be productive. That is what I want to encourage everyone to be productive. We don't know, now it's September. We don't know what August, October, November, and December. We don't know what's going to happen.
That sounds like
So
a song coming on.
I know. Oh gosh,
When you say it like that, it sounds like there's a song coming on.
just wait. It's a big
Lam,
surprise.
we're waiting for the music, Lam.
Oh,
I
great.
think we've heard some beautiful wisdom from you, and I think it's
Thank you.
time for us to move into the music of our lives, sung
Okay.
by Lampang Siemle.
Oh,
How about that?
great. Let me just sip of water.
I hope
I'm a
that's
bit
water
tired
you've got
today.
there, Lam. That looks like something
This is
else.
water. It's just like water in a goblet. It's a beautiful
Hang on,
goblet.
hang on. Let me bring you my glass of water as well and say cheers to you.
Oh, great. Great. Cheers. Mm.
So I'm going to go
So,
off screen now. I think the screen is
all right.
yours. This time is yours, Lampang. All the best, and we look
Thank
forward
you.
to hearing the music.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. So I've chosen the song "Change Is Gonna Come" by Sam Cooke, and we can be a change in this world, even if we go through so many hardships. Together, we can do it. So this is for you. Thank you so much, Mark, and the Avenues family. I love you guys a lot. This is Change Is Gonna Come. I was born by the river in a little town. Oh, just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long, long, a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Mm. It's been too hard to live in, 'cause I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long, 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 a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh yes, it will. I go to the movies and I go downtown. Somebody said, please, 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 don't hang around. It's been a long, long, a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Ooh. Then I go to my brother and said, brother, help me please. Then he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. but now I think I'm able to carry on.
That's
It's
a
been
voice
a
of gold, guys. Just beautiful. I don't know if you can hear this on Instagram.
but I know the change gonna come. Oh yes, it will.
That was just out of this world.
Thank
That was
you,
just out of
Ma.
this world. I am going to run a line of applause for you from all of us here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, Mark.
I think
You know, Mark.
I think I speak for everyone when I say that was super special, and we're so grateful that you chose
Thank
to
you.
do this with us. And
Exactly.
we've
Thank
learned
you.
a lot, we've been inspired a lot, and we've been enthralled a lot by that voice.
Thank you. Mark, you know why I chose the song?
Tell us.
See, because with these few months that this pandemic had happened, uh, there are two things that our youth are facing. Number one is depression, and number two is anxiety. There are few people that I've worked with. There are few people that I've known. What I do is I don't work with them on their voice, but I have to really work with them on their problem, the depression and the anxiety. And I speak with all my heart, never give up, because a change is gonna come if you believe in yourself and if you stay true to what you believe, and you're gonna make it. So never give up. God bless you all. And Mark, Iba, and everyone, Avenues family, thank you for having me again here.
I think that's a very strong message, Lam, that we take into the week. Now
Thank
we
you.
have something that we do on all our episodes, and I think I know what it's going to be for you, but I'm going to do it anyway. We have
Okay.
a message to the world from
All
all
right.
of our guests. You've got to do it
Okay.
with all the energy you can muster. You point your finger at the camera, and I'm going to give you a count of 3. Okay. I'm going to
Okay.
turn on our theme song right now. All right. I'm going to
Okay.
put you into the mood for this. And I'm going to say on the count of 3, you have to have your message to the world, okay? And I think if
All
it's
right.
not wrong, it'll be never give up. So let's go. Ladies
Exactly.
and gentlemen, we're signing in from Shillong. This has been a special guest to my left. Lampang Siemle has signed in with some inspiration, and he has a message to the world. And his message is 1, 2, 3.
Don't you dare give up.
Don't you dare
And
give
be the
up. Give me
change.
5, Lam. On the
I
camera, on the camera. There we go. Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone. That was Lampang Siemle. It's been a
thank you.
pleasure and a privilege, and we're so grateful, Lam. Lots of
Thank
love.
you. Lots of love.
See you soon.
God bless. God bless.
Thank you, Eva. I think that was a beautiful segment and someone that we all know so much about. We've seen him sing, but we've never heard him speak quite like that. And I'm very, very happy. And I think we're all very privileged that he chose this platform to do that on. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, you know what he said: never give up. On with our next guest, we have a very special aspirant of the Avenues Aspire Meghalaya program. We will be running our live coaching segment, which has to do with conversations and coaching conversations with our partners in all things life coaching. Meghalaya Model United Nations have been our partners for this first season of Keeping It Real. They've curated some beautiful questions from a beautiful audience, and every week we answer 3 questions that give us an immense worldview, a perspective of what can be done when we're dealing with the challenges of life. On that note, Eva, if you'd like to bring in our first question, I think because of the paucity of time and because the principal of Lady King College is with us and we'd like to keep our time, we're going to try and get Dr. Chrysanthemum Massar on right now. If that's all right with all of you, let me see your likes and hearts because this lady is a phenomenon. I'm turning off my music so I can give her the sort of introduction I know she deserves. 30 years plus in education and academics, 15 years, almost 15 years leading Shillong's premier women's college, Lady Keen's College, a NAC accreditation under her belt twice for the college, multiple papers published, multiple international appearances. She's spoken to the Indian diaspora in Paris on leadership in education. She's spoken at the Netherlands, and she's toured the country talking to people about the value of education, teaching, and actually mentorship, which is a passion for her. She loves cooking and experimenting. That's something she told me a little while ago. But more than all of that, the loves of her life are her pets. If you're ready to get intimate and personal in a beautiful conversation with Dr. Masar, I invite you to please welcome her to the show. Hi, ma'am.
Good evening, Mark.
Round of applause for you to say thank you to you for coming on. How are we this evening?
Yes, greetings from Lady Keen College campus to you all, Avenues family, and all the viewers this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Masar. I think the mic will have to be closer to your mouth, perhaps, so that we can hear you clearer. Ma'am, you know, it's often been said that you've led this campus with great tenacity. And I think for administrators and for individuals who have always looked at the administration of a campus and had a lot of faults to pick and criticism to spell out, tell us from your side of things, on the other side of all of that, on the other side of receiving the applause, the acclaim, and the criticism, what is it like running Lady Keen College? What's it like behind the scenes?
To start with, I think the way to learn is to love the environment, the scenic beauty of the campus, and the vision, and to stay focused. This is what we can take the lead to lead an institution.
You know, we know that there's a lot of beauty in the campus. We've seen so much progress. You've seen your NAC accreditations coming through 2 consecutive times under your leadership. But ma'am, we want to know the truth. What's the team like that you lead? Tell us about all the hurdles and the pitfalls, the challenges you've had. If you had to talk about the top challenge you faced as an administrator in the hills for education, what would it be?
The challenges which we all face, I think, as head of institutions, is we are not free to implement anything we like. We are governed by the regulatory bodies, we are governed by the government, we are governed by university, unless we become autonomous colleges. So this is actually tying us up that we cannot even frame our own curriculum. We only can add on to our curriculum by the add-on courses, which we focus most of the time nowadays is on skill-oriented courses. So as I go down the remembrance of what I can remember, as a teacher, we had a lot of challenges to make the students, understand the subject and make them come out with good flying colors. I'm not talking about getting percentage of marks, the art of learning. And now, as a head of institution, I think, am I audible? As
Yes,
a head
you are,
of
ma'am.
institution, we have hurdles, but we can overcome. There are ways which we can overcome hurdles. Especially when we get the very tight schedule to finish things. But with the cooperation and the company of the committees, we are able to do. Sometimes government give us, just 2 hours to give a report, and we are able to do because we can do. Hurdles are there, but we can do. Why not? Yes.
You know, it's mostly a women, I mean, it is an all-girls campus, ma'am. And I think you've seen over the last decade and a half of your leadership, 30 years plus of teaching and education, the mindset of young people taking a shift as we head into a new world of uncertainty. What do you think, ma'am, are the core skills that a young person needs to take into the world today?
Well, the learners nowadays, I think they face a lot of an edge. Wherever they turn, there's an edge. They are also tied up in one place where they cannot decide where to go, what to do. So, we as a head of institutions, together with the teachers who are in different mentoring committees or career committees, we have to only show them the way that, there is a life after your studies, there is a career after your studies. But most of the time, I think life is so challenging nowadays. Students want to do something which their career is something else, but they landed up in something else. So this gives a lot of the depression, I would say, in them. But as mentors of institutions, we try to make the students go into the picture of a positive thinking and positive decision, and look at them. We all know that there's a lot of challenges in the career of the students nowadays. Even if they enter any subject they want to study, but they don't know what will happen later, that is true. But we have a tight mm, I would say, it's very difficult that we can tell them that you do this, you'll get this. That is difficult. But we try through placements, these placement agencies, which normally comes because we know placement at our state is very difficult. We don't have industries. We don't
That's
have
true.
much industries. So what we do is we get placed for them outside. But when they go there again, they have a problem. They can't face those difficulties in the metros. So then they come back again. We send them again. They said that this is the life. You have to face it. So it's a very difficult question you ask me, because I don't have a solution, but I only have suggestions for them. It's very difficult. Yes.
Ma'am, this is why we call the show "Keeping It Real" because
Hmm.
we like our guests, people like you who have had exemplary careers, who are so well celebrated in your lines of work, to share something that's real from your own journey, from your own story, ma'am. And I think we will do that by perhaps changing the format of this conversation a little bit. Uh, with your permission, I'm going to ask you, ma'am, to come closer to your camera because I think the distance to the mic is very far. You can lean in and we can have a more personal conversation this way. And I can ask you, ma'am, the skills that you think your girls, for example, on campus, when they leave the campus, what is it that you dream they take with them? The three qualities, the three skills perhaps that they can take into the world.
One is learning. One is learning.
Learning.
Yes. Then the next step is the qualities which they have learned in the campus to take with them, that ladylike, lady keen students. And the third one is stay focused. I keep on telling that, stay focused. This is
Stay
one
focused.
stay
So,
focused.
so to all the ladies out there and the Kenyan, I don't know if the term is right, but I've often heard it being said, Kenyan queens or princesses or something like that. But but ma'am, I think what you're telling your students and the ladies on your campus is to stay focused, to stay consistent, and to take those ladylike qualities into the world. Do you think, in an age when people are speaking about leadership across sexes, about there being no disparity amongst the genders, do you think there's still a space for the phrase being ladylike?
Yes, why not? You see, ladies, I would say, they are the best manager, I would say, be it at home or
Ah,
be it
now the truth comes
institution,
out, ma'am. These were the truths we were talking
even at
about.
institution. But the only thing is, physically, we are not strong. Mentally, we are very strong. We do all the work, but physical, if we have to carry weight, what I mean to say, if we have to carry heavy weight, then there we are down. We cannot, because we are not as strong as men into the muscles if we go into the biological part of the. So this is what only that. Otherwise, I think all ladies who listen to me will agree that we can do anything and everything, except
You
that we cannot carry heavy weight. We cannot lift
unless
beyond
unless you
beyond
unless you
certain.
made Unless you made weightlifting a career as a woman.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's different. That's
that would
different.
be different, ma'am.
Mm.
So, throughout the course of your journey, ma'am, you've had a couple of experiences with students who have gone on to do great things in life. Who to you is an exemplary student from the community, from the Lady King College community? Someone who you think other girls could look up to, other men like us could look up to and say, what a career.
Again, you're putting me a very difficult question
I know.
because I can't be specific. I can't be specific. I can't be real here. Let's be
We're
frank.
getting you in trouble, no, ma'am?
But yes, I think what the students look at is at the best mentor. At the best mentor, follow the footsteps and stay focused again. Yes.
That was a very safe answer,
I
ma'am.
won't take a section of anyone because it's combined. It's a combine of everyone. Yes.
So, when you have toured the world and you've met young people from different pockets of different campuses, and you come back home and you're leading this campus here, ma'am, what do you think are the things that stand out about our youth, about our young girls and boys that will be unique anywhere in the world? The qualities of a young lad or a girl from Shillong, from Meghalaya. What do you think stands out about our people elsewhere in the world?
I would say the difference is, at the state level, at the national level, international level, um, we are so much under stress here. Students are so much under stress. But, I have met some students, those when I was abroad during the summer school, they have explained to us, and I have seen it, that they are not so much under stress. The way the things, the higher learning management has been done, it has been done in such a way that they're so relaxed at class, they're so relaxed at library, they're so relaxed at other things which they've learned. Professors are very approachable, and they are just professors, mentors, tutors, everything at the international learning. In India, I won't say that it is not like that, but we are too much under stress. I think the number of students in one class are too many. I feel is that number of students in one class are too many, that attention cannot be taken care of. Be it,
So,
if you see, yes, that is true. If you go into, I'm also much interactive with the government colleges. They have, the ratio of student teacher ratio is very, very high. Like teachers very less, students are so much. So how do we give the exact learning of quality of learning? This is what it's a very challenging thing, because I've done one paper on teaching, learning and evaluation. I've done a project, in fact. So when I go deep into, we go to private colleges, it's the best. Then we come to deficit colleges, we are okay. Then we go to government colleges, they are actually like very difficult, that to answer my questionnaires also they are not able to give. But what I could hear from the principals about the outcomes of the students is that they are like that. Now that, yes, they are like that. There are so many. So I think we cannot compare what we have here, national and international. But I did enjoy seeing those students, because I myself feel relaxed when I see them learning that way. I feel myself relaxed, when I see them. And they are engineering students. They're talking all about, all that engineer, but we can understand what they talk. And the interaction was so good that they all look so relaxed and enjoyable, their life, besides getting this scholarship or fellowship or whatever. And
was
then
was that was that what school was like for you, ma'am, when you were growing up? Was it a relaxed affair, or was it high
yes,
stress like it is
yes,
today?
I think you are right. Because in of course, I've been now for so many years. I just look back at the Synod school where I had studied with Miss Evans as the headmistress. She's no more now. Just I think 2 years back she passed away. So we used to enjoy that school life at the Synod school. I really miss that Synod life of me as a student there, because we had lots of time on the ground. We had lots of time to play. I don't even remember that we are too much into books. Then as we grew up, then as I joined the other school, the KJP High Secondary School, now it's called High Secondary School, that time it's only secondary. then I find that I can remember that just after school, we used to go home and play basketball. We don't see the books. But then now, when the student when a child comes home, at the gate itself, parents will tell, oh, you have homework, open your homework. So this, it's a change of life, it's a change of learning, too much of pressure. But these can overcome, I said, if you stay focused, it can overcome, because we have to live with the present. We can't always remember the past and say that now we know, but live with the present. Like what is happening, I will touch a little bit now at the moment. Present scenario you have seen, that we are on the online teaching learning only. All right, now evaluation will come. So pressure is there, but I think we can overcome this also. This way of giving education through online, through the whatever possibility of for those who can reach online, and for those who cannot reach, also possibility of making them reach in some way or the other. So I've just continued a bit because you said past, the present, the past, and then the present now. So this is what, but we can overcome things, only have to stay focused how to do.
Dr. Masar, I think there's a lot of students right now. You know them as well. They probably called you. I know that one of your personal passions is counseling and mentoring young boys and girls to, pursue something in life that's meaningful. Over the course of the last 3 months, we've had a lot of questions from young people, talking about how unsure they are about what's going to come next, and how they're so scared of their academic future, because nothing is like it was. 6 months ago, we would have never seen today, the way it is.
Yes.
What would your advice be to a student right now in a college atmosphere, just about to start college? This is a new era,
Yes.
just about to start college. They're neither here nor there, no physical campuses, no physical classrooms. What would be your advice, ma'am, emotionally and mentally? What should they take with them?
Well, first of all, they have got enrolled themselves to any institution which they like, to the subject. So now they have to be prepared with the online classes. They will have to have all the equipments. They will have to have all the accessories needed if they can afford. If
That's
they can
right.
afford. But like what the previous speaker was telling, October, November, December, we don't know what will happen. But we are starting our classes, all of us, I think, by the 3rd week of September. So all have to be ready. A phone is a must, I think. An Android phone is a must, or an Apple if you can afford, because WhatsApp has to be there. So it is a very challenging, I won't say to the students of enrolled, to the parents, for giving them these accessories. So I think because if you see into the the National Education Policy 2020, it is very much given there that when CBCS will be implemented, part of the online teaching learning will be evaluated and it will be credited. So these things slowly we'll have to pick up. I think this is a forced pick up now this year, which we had to give. We never thought that we'll have meetings through online, decisions through online, even screening committees through online, maybe interviews also through online, like what I'm doing with you now. So I think we have to live with the present. We have to live with the present.
So get yourself ready with the right equipment, the right infrastructure. This is the reality of life now. Ma'am, emotionally, when they feel, I think we all want to belong to a community. We all want to feel like we're part of a larger web of, I think, the fabric of our lives.
Yes.
How do you cope with that loneliness, ma'am, now? You haven't seen your students in so long. You haven't seen your teachers, I think, on a regular basis. But for a lot of young people who are used to being with friends every day, it's been a complete, about face. What do you think would be your advice to someone who is coping with feelings of loneliness today as they head into college?
Well, I think this is very common with all the students of every college nowadays, because socialization is very important. For 1 month when it was a complete lockdown, I live in the campus, fine, but for complete lockdown, I never came to the office, or even I was at home. So I was just, everything changed even with me. Even though I opened the email, I opened the news, I opened everything, but that regular work, it is not there. So when I had come to the office just to prepare the salary, there was a change. Just my office, without any person. Just to come to the office, there was a change in preparing the salary. Then one person came, that is an accountant. So now if you go to the students, okay, if you go to the students, I think I would appreciate them that they have stayed so long in this way. And they have attended online classes as put up by the head of the departments. Most of them, those who could not get, contacted me. Yes, some of them shared their way of loneliness. In fact, I felt lonely living in the campus without teachers and students and hostelers. It was really a lonely, but because I think I'm quite mature in that way, I can pick up. But the students, please, dear students, stay focused. I would say a time will come that you will overcome these challenges. Back to normal, it will come. And from the institutional body, we are trying our best to have all the exams so that you get your marks on what you have learned. And I won't say that you will succeed, but you can try. And then one day you will succeed, because this is the challenges in which, and above all, we Christians believe in God. So we always pray every day that things will come right, not everything in one go, but gradually and slowly.
All things in perfect time.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I was talking to you earlier today, and you had mentioned your fondness for cooking and your pets. And I wanted to ask you, so if we had to walk into your kitchen today, what would we find on the stove? What have you cooked for the house today?
Yes, to tell you frankly, my husband is also a very good cook. So today I have not cooked anything. He said he will cook for this evening because I'm busy with you. But the other days, yes, it's not that I am very good in cooking, but I love to experiment. But nevertheless, like the taste comes differently. Only thing is, we women as mothers, I think we like to cook if we have time. But with my profession, even though in the mind I said I will cook this, I will cook that this evening, but when you return back from office, you're fully exhausted. You're fully exhausted. So managing yourself between house and professional job is difficult. If you want perfection in both, it is difficult. So,
So
but
you're
then,
saying that it is a hard thing to accomplish, the sense of this image of
yes.
perfection, being a perfect worker, a perfect
Mm.
professional, a perfect wife, a perfect mother. It is tough, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, it is. It is very much. It is.
So, I mean, you've lived the journey, and I think I've always wanted to ask you this on a personal note, and I think I'll do it today, ma'am. Uh,
Yeah.
can you recall the most challenging time in your life? I think some of us will take some inspiration from that. A very difficult time in your life, uh, on a personal level, that you managed to get past, and perhaps share some wisdom from that episode with us. We'd be very grateful.
I find every day is a challenging work for me because here every day hurdles come. Every day we have to take steps. But then, of course, after getting the formalized assessment and accreditation by the council at Bangalore for the college, we tried so much to do the best we could those years earlier, but we have not achieved much. But getting into that assessment and accreditation, we have learned. Yes, I think I remember now. When the result was announced that we got an A grade, it was a college week in the college, and it was the program of request programs of songs and dance. So what we did, the first thing when I got the result, I just went there and I just danced in front of the campus. I have a picture also. I wish I could share with you. I called all the teachers.
About
I
that.
said, "Come and let us dance," and they don't know what is actually. I said, "No, see this result." So all the girls. It so happened. It's a coincidence that it was that program of the dancer, the request program of songs and dance. So yes, I remember that was the moment which really I was overjoyed. Yes, I was overjoyed that day. So
That
others,
would be
yeah,
priceless.
yes, correct. Yes, Ma.
So you were saying, ma'am, in terms of motherhood and in terms of being a family woman as well,
Yes,
I'm sure you've had your fair share of ups and downs. But
yes.
what have you enjoyed? What have you enjoyed most about that journey, ma'am?
I have enjoyed raising my son till he has achieved now. My son is actually now working, and he is trying to be self-reliant on his own. And I would say when he was with me, he was quite a kid. But then once he left Shillong and went for professional course, he has grown up, and he has. I wish I think he must be watching me now. So yes, my son is. I call him Janu, very
Hi,
lovingly.
Janu. If you're
I,
watching
I,
this, your mom loves you.
I'm very proud of you, my dear son. And of course, my husband, who is always supportive for me in all works of life. And of course, my relatives and friends. So these are my personal note.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
I know this. I mean, we could actually go on like this, but
you.
we do have
Yes.
a timeline, and I'd like to respect that for the other guests too. I do
Yes.
have one last question for you, ma'am, and I've been dying to ask you this. I'm going to put it across to you right now. When you head into life, I think there are some qualities that crisis reveals, in all of us.
Yes.
A lot of people say crisis builds character. I happen to believe crisis reveals who we are. It shows us our true colors. Um, what do you think should be the qualities of a young person today as they head into the world? The three qualities they should nurture, the three human qualities they should nurture as they head into life. And I think we won't ask you to answer it in your typical fashion, ma'am. I want you to
Yes.
tell us from your own life. What are three lessons you take from your life? And maybe we'll get some inspiration from there.
Yes. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Number one, I would say is you care. The word care means care for yourself, care for the others, care for everyone who comes in front of you. Number two is listen to them, what they want to tell you, what they want to say to you. And the last one is give the best you can and stay focused.
You've been hammering on the state focus part, ma'am. We all
Because these are
take that
the
away.
words I like. These are the words I like.
True,
Yes.
true.
Yes.
So I think, again, just to reiterate, for those of us who are signing in now, this has been a beautiful session with the principal of Lady Keane College, Dr. Chrysanthemum Masar. Ma'am has shared some very personal insights into her life and into wisdom. And your three lessons, ma'am, were, if I remember correctly, number one was to listen.
Care. To care.
Number one was to care. To
Yes.
take, I
Care.
think, whatever you say and whatever is said to you with respect and care. The second
Yes.
would be to listen carefully.
Mhm.
And the
Yes.
third would be to stay focused.
Yes. Stay focused. Stay positive and stay focused. Yes.
Super. So, ma'am, on that note, I'm going to be asking you to do something that all of our guests do on the show, but I'm going to ask you to step out of your comfort zone a bit, ma'am. First of all, I have what we call our rapid fire round for you. Okay, 5 questions, and
Yes.
you've got to give us your quickest answer before anything else happens. Are you with
Yes,
me, ma'am? Are
please.
you ready?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes,
you're
I'm
going to have
ready.
to. You're going to have to come a little closer so we can see your face as you answer these questions. We're going to ask for 5 questions. Okay, ma'am? Ready?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. In the count of 5 seconds for each question, you got to give your answers. All right, ma'am? The
Yes,
first
yes.
question is, why the name chrysanthemum?
It was given by my parents, and it so happened that I also come from botany. I mean, teach botany. It's a flower.
Your favorite clothing and your attire for work?
Traditional.
Your favorite artist, musician?
I would say old music,
You have to name a musician, ma'am,
soft,
an artist.
soft music artists. I don't have any favorite ones, but country songs.
Country. Oh, we've discovered something new, ma'am.
Country
So
songs. Yes.
the first song that comes to your mind today, a country song that's a favorite.
So country road, take me home.
Country roads. We have a beautiful performance by someone very special. In fact, her name is Chisa. She's joining us from Tura, a young student. If you sign on, ma'am, a little later, I think she's
Yes.
going to be doing her own version of Country Roads as well. Okay.
Okay.
Question
Interesting.
number 4, and I hope I don't get you in any trouble here.
No,
Who
it's okay.
is your favorite faculty member on campus?
Yes, I have a problem here. I do have a problem here. I would say the faculty is all.
Oh, that's a very safe answer, ma'am.
Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Science, Faculty of Languages, all.
There you
I'm
go.
not taking person, I'm taking as Faculty of Learning.
Diplomatic as always, ma'am. And of
Yes.
course, I know we never ask a lady her age, so I won't do that. But tell us a little bit, one word to describe the man in your life, your husband.
I would say again, put caring.
Caring. Ma'am, you can do better than that. Come on. We want a better word.
Soft. Even though he's a man, but soft. And I would say love.
Wonderful. So soft, caring, loving. That's the man in ma'am's life. And I think we've learned a lot from that statement, ma'am. Thank you very much. Now, as we head into the last 2 minutes of your segment, ma'am, we have a request. It's called a message to the world. Your job, ma'am, is going to be to, with all your energy, to look at the camera. You take your fingers out, you point to the camera, and you say something very powerful that you believe in. Okay? And I think from whatever I gather, the words "stay focused" are strongest in your heart. Maybe that could become your message for tonight. What do you say, ma'am?
I would say believe in God.
Believe in God. Great. Okay,
Yes.
give me 5, ma'am. Fine. So we're going to do that. I'm going to count out to 3, and we're going to ask you to state your message for the world, and that is going to be your time. I'm going to put on our track song. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard a very inspiring session with somebody we deeply respect, Dr. Masar, the principal of Lady Keane College. She has a message to the world. And before we get into that, I'm putting on our theme song. We're signing out with Dr. Masar. Ma'am, what is your message to the world?
Believe in God.
Believe in God. High 5. Thanks, ma'am. See you soon.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Eva,
you.
thank you very much. That was a wonderful session with Ma'am Masar, the principal of Lady Keane College, someone we've done a lot of work with in the past few years, and somebody who we deeply admire and respect. You all heard the lady. Don't forget to care. Don't forget to listen. And don't forget to stay focused. And while you do that, always, always remember your faith. I think that's what she would like us all to take away with us this evening. That's been a very lovely session. I would now love to call on our Aspire Meghalaya aspirant, a young lady from the Garo Hills. Chisa, if you're there, we want to have you on, my dear. Chisa is our musical guest, and she has some beautiful performances lined up. Let's see if she's around. Here we go. We're trying to connect with Chisa. Hello, Chisa.
Hello,
Nice
sir.
to see you.
Nice to see you.
So, Chisa, apparently you're signing in from Tura, right? And you have some music for us.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Chisa, before you begin, what's your favorite kind of music?
I love country songs and gospel songs too.
So the principal of Lady Keane College told us that she loves country roads. So I think, you might want to go with that. I believe that was the song you chose yesterday, and I said, try something else. I think we should just go back to country roads. What do you think? Yes?
Okay, sir. Fine.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Shall I-
this is... shall we do this? Are you ready?
Yes,
Let me
sir.
start with giving you a warm round of applause. Here we go. All the best.
tears in my eyes, country of home. Take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country road.
Lisa, well done. Congratulations. I,
Thank you, sir.
I know that's not the only song you prepared, and you probably have one more, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what are you playing for us next? This is a small break from our regular format in the interviews, and we'd love to hear your next song.
My next song will be Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Oh, we love that song. Okay, all the best.
Thank you, sir. Somewhere over the rainbow, up high, and dreams that you dreamed of once in a lullaby. Somewhere wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. With trouble met like lemon drop, high above the chimney top is rare. You'll find me up somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly. And the dreams that you dreamed of once, and someday wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. With trouble that's like lemon drop, high above the chimney top is where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dreamed of once in
I think I'm going to give you another round of applause. Well done. Thank you, Chisa. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Chisa Sangma from Tura, a student of Avenues and a rising talent from the hills. Chisa's ukulele and her golden voice are things that make us smile, and we're so grateful. Thank you, Chisa. Give me 5, lady, on the camera. Well done. See you around. Thank you, Chisa. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.
Well done. For those of you who know Chisa, our trainers in the Garo Hills, she's such a gem of a girl, and we're so happy to have had her on the show this evening. As you all know, this is episode 10. It's our season finale for season 1 of Keeping It Real with Mark. We're signing in on the Avenues platforms on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram this evening. I think our Instagram feed has gone dead now, but we're on live on Facebook and YouTube. Please let everyone know we have a very interesting panel of questions coming up from our partners, Meghalaya Model United Nations. But before we get there, we have a legend in the house, somebody who we all look up to, someone who has stolen our hearts with his animated roles and characters on radio, on air, and on television. I'm speaking about the radio jockey at large, uh, RJ Zach from, I'm not going to name the station, but you all know what I'm talking about. It's rocking, isn't it? So we're trying to get a hold of Zach. If he's online right now, I'd like to bring him on as soon as possible. Eva Sarah, could you please do the needful? Zach, we'd love to see you on the show. Hi, Zach.
Hi, Bamak. How you doing?
Nice to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you too.
So we're signing in. If you want to do a small little jig with the music, that would be nice. Can't see you dance. So Zach, you're signing in from the studios of, I think, Red FM, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Since your
yes,
branding
yes.
is all there, I'm going to just say it out loud. This is RJ Zach on air, live with Avenues, and we're so happy to have him. Zach, I'm going to call you Zach on the show.
Yeah.
Tell us what radio jockeying means to you.
For me, radio jogging, I've been here for 9 years. And this is the only thing that I never get tired of. I will tell you a little bit about me before I come to radio jockeying. I'm into artworks. I love to do sketching, paintings, and I'm into uh, writings as well. So keeping all these aside, this is the only thing that I'm passionate about. You know, Mondays or no Mondays, even Sundays, if I have to come to work, I'm on it. It's my passion. I love about this job. And one important thing that made me realize, in life we have a purpose, and it took me 30 years to understand what I'm here, why I'm here. And when I met this kid, and he's from Maulai. When I met him in Motpran, and he was tapping my back when I was in a cab, and he said, "Pide Bazak, you're Bazak." Yeah, I listen to your show every morning. I just love your show, and you don't know, like, it made me smile. So that short conversation with this guy, it made me realize that I'm capable of doing things to touch people's lives, to inspire young minds as well. So I take this as a purpose. So here I am.
The power of one, right, Zach? I mean, it just takes one person to even keep us going. I think you've had many situations in your own life where you felt, why should I go on anymore? How do I continue? What have you learned from those experiences, Bazak? When you've been on your knees, when you don't know what to do next, and life is tough, life is difficult. What keeps you coming back to work?
Uh, the only reason that gives me motivation every single morning, I realize that someone out there, even one single person out there, is waiting for me to come on air, to bring a smile on his face with my wits and humors. So that is one thing that keeps me alive. That is one thing that inspires me, that keeps me going. And seeing my mom every morning when I get to work, she will be there preparing everything so that you don't forget, right from wallet to my phones and everything. He said, okay, have you, everything is in the back, go get ready, it's time for your job. And that is one thing that made me realize that it's not only about me, everyone are in it. Even my mom, she want me to she want me at my best, even at the morning. Even there are times when it's rainy days, and it's like, okay, I'll just sleep a little bit because I have to reach office by 7. So early morning, rainy days, it's like, okay, I'll sleep a little. But my mom, she will come poke me and said, "Oi, boy, it's time for you to get up. It's work." And she made me realize why I'm passionate about it. And I have a history actually with radio, Bamak. Uh, when we were kids, when we grew up, in my place, we didn't have a TV, so radio is the only thing. My father's radio is the only thing. So back when I was in school, even the timing of getting ready to school, radio plays a very important part. Back then, we used to have All India Radio, and listening to the All India Radio, especially at 8 a.m. when the news comes, means like it's time for you to get ready to school. So we grew up listening to the radio at our house, especially my dad.
That was your alarm. You knew out of the door.
Yeah, that's my alarm. So I still remember my dad. Radio has been very close to him, and since then I was hooked to the radio. And the main thing that I got hooked to the radio is this guy who inspired me. He's one of the announcer of All India Radio. His name is Bapan Kher, and we all know him by then by the
So
name
Bankar was your
Request Khan.
inspiration.
Yeah, Request Khan. He is the senior Banker, not the junior one. Not the up-to-date, latest version Banker, but the older version. So he is the one that inspires me. So that's why the reason why I love radio so much, the reason why I'm glued to radio. And even though going side by side with video jockey, but my heart is with radio all the time.
What has been your favorite campaign, Zach? I mean, you do a lot of stuff. I think I would hate to receive a prank call from you. I hope I never get one today. But I think we all enjoy the prank calls. We enjoy the characters you play. Can you get into character right now? Something that we'd all love to hear from. I think there's some requests coming online to see you get into character. 2 minutes. Come on, something sketch
Okay.
right now.
My favorite character here in Red FM, that is Liao. Okay, Liao, the Liao
Sorry.
actually,
This is a funny
he's
guy.
Liao. He has this Panar accent because he's Panar. Okay, so whenever he throw anything, it's like in that depth of that Panar accent. So it's like, hey, no level. I don't need to do. So there's this incident, okay, that reminds me back then when we were kids. So when we used to go to school, okay, when we stand for the line in Alumari. So there's another guy. He is Panar and I'm Panar too. So when we are having Alumuri, his accent will be like, hey, thoda jhal de do. Idhar mein thoda jhal de do. Jhal kam hai. And by the time when that guy gave him like a lot of chilies, then he'd be like, "Ngam baksat meh, katar baksat, tambah min step la jot habba min ice cream, katar mday na situr." It means
these
that
are
it's too
characters from your
spicy that
life.
he'll gonna need ice cream tomorrow morning. So that is one character that I'm into, that I'm in love. Like Liao, that's the character. So
Yeah.
another character,
So
we have Mausawa, we have Sparklers, we have Bakias as well.
I think you're inspired a lot by the people you see around you in life, and
Yeah.
more than anything else, Zach, I think it's very obvious to all of us that you're not just I shouldn't use the word just. You aren't a radio jockey. You're a performer. You bring together so many talents and virtues that are very hard to find in one person, and you use that to inspire young people with humor and with wit. And I can speak for the whole community, Bazak, when I say we are so proud of you. We are so proud that you are an outstanding young leader in the making from our community. And I think that radio is only a beginning for you. Now, I have a very important question to ask you, Bazak. Do you
Yes.
see a career in politics for yourself?
No, I'll leave that aside. See, as you said, that I'm an entertainer and I'm honored to get that tag. So there's a big difference, okay? When people love you for entertainment and when people love you for politics, that's a big difference, because politics, it's not a child's game. You can't just play politics along the way. Just because you're famous, just because everyone loves you, it doesn't mean that it's high time for you, to take that step into politics, because it plays a very vital role. You should be the one you should have a vision. You should have a vision. You have the responsibility. It's not about me taking the chair and as a leader and bossing around. That's not it. You have to have the ears to listen to the people. That's very important. And if I find it hard just to put that one request of a song, if someone requests a song and I couldn't fulfill that, I feel bad about it. So imagine having all those requests. When you're a politician, you have to take the responsibility to cater to all age group. That'll be really hard for me. So I think I will stick to entertainment. I'd rather like making people laugh, than sitting doing things that I'm not comfortable with.
Using humor to change the world. Hey,
Yeah.
Zach, tell us about your current family at Red FM. What's it like working for the organization? What have you experienced in you said 9 years, right? 9 years.
Yeah, 9 years.
I think you came in at the very beginning of the industry in the Northeast when things were
Yeah,
just
yeah.
beginning to emerge and blossom. What has it been like working for Red FM in the radio space over the last 9 years? What are the 3 lessons you take with you?
I've learned a lot being part of this organization, and I'm really thankful to them. And when I first joined Red FM, it was in the year 2011. And when I came in, I still remember uh, Andreas, aka Troy, Ajit Troy. He was the one like
Lee,
who guided me.
cheers to
Yes,
Andreas.
Lee. He's the one who guided me. He's the one who trained me. So I still remember being under pressure and the training. But I know, okay, this pressure, I will see the light through this storm. It's like that. So it's like the training was brutal, and the only thing that he gave me that word, he said that you have something in you that that's very different. He sees that in me. So he being a mentor, and Desmond as well, being a friend who's going alongside with me, teaching me all the things that I need to know here in Red FM. And these guys have played a very important role in my life in Red FM for 9 years. And I've been here being guided by Andreas Lee and as well as Desmond as well. Back then, it was like for me just work. Okay, I just came here to work, but slowly, I tried to pick up. Okay, what I can do. That was the first 3 year. The first year that I joined was as a part timer. Okay, as a part time jockey, and I used to go outdoor. My main show was like outdoor. Just go out to the public, and we used to have this show, Voice Out
Vox Pop.
935. Yeah, Vox Pop kind of, and we used to get these the people's voice on air. So, and then when I step in as a radio jockey, as a full time jockey, my first show was the night show, and it was the love show, of course. So I was like very skeptical of taking this show because it's a love show. I don't know whether I'll be able to carry on or not, but I did my best and it went well. But later I got shifted to morning show, the breakfast show. So going alongside day by day, everything changed. The content does not stay the same, but one thing that remains the same that teaches me a lesson, it's punctuality. That's one. Second,
Punctuality.
you should be open-minded. You should accept critical feedbacks. That is one thing. Like you have to keep your ego aside. Okay,
Oh,
accept the fact
that's a
that this
difficult
guy,
thing to
what
do,
he's
Zach.
saying, yeah.
That's a difficult thing to do. I mean, we work with so many young people today who tell us they cannot handle, criticism. It affects their emotions, their heart, their minds, can't go back to work. How did you get over it?
Okay, these are the three simple things that you need to do to get over these things. One, whether this criticism uh, is it true? Okay, that's one. Second, will it help me to grow? Third, will it help me to channelize myself? Will this make me look to another perspective where I fail to look? These are the simple things you need to understand.
Hey Zach,
First, me, yeah.
if you ever leave Red FM, please let us know. Okay, we need life coaches like you.
Well, I think I'll be stuck here. I'll be here for a long time.
That was beautiful. So you have to first see if it actually benefits you. You have to understand if
Yeah,
it makes you grow. I think it's a
yeah,
privilege to hear that kind of feedback.
yes,
I
Mark.
mean, who it
And
takes
one,
someone. Sorry, carry on.
yeah, and one more thing. I realized when I read a lot of books, so there's one chapter where I got hooked to it. When you put these are the lines, when you put a book closer to you, everything gets blurred. You can't see anything. You just have to take a step back so you get the clear picture. So
That's
that
right.
is one thing that I realized when you're too focused on something and you missed out certain details. But there are other people who saw those details, and they are the one who will pinpoint you. You've missed this. So you should drop your ego aside and yes, listen to this guy. Maybe he's right. Okay, take a step back, look at what he's saying. Maybe you'll find another perspective. So that's how it works.
Drop the ego, folks.
Yeah.
That's what the man to my left has said, and he knows it best. Hey, so Zach, just a couple of things in terms of your personal life. I think we all want to know uh, who's the lady love, if there's anyone. Uh,
Yes, yes. Well, her name is
who's
Layhun
special?
Nangnorum, and we've been together for 4 years. For 4 years, it's like really serious and committed as well.
Just warning all the lady fans out there. Zach is booked. Absolutely no entertainment there. Zach, tell us about your mom. You were speaking about how she's been with you, stuck by you through thick and thin, like our parents always do, and pushed you off to work even when you didn't feel like it. What have you learned from your mother, Zach?
Okay, a little bit about my family, Mark. I grew up alongside with my grandmother, my grandfather. These are the two main pillars who have taught me wisdom, have taught me about life, the rules about life, to be compassionate, to listen to other people, to be humble. They are the one who sow that seed. And my mom being hardworking, and my dad too, they both works. So during the daytime, it's only me and my grandmother and my grandfather. They are the one who guided me throughout my life so that I'll be able to know my roots, where I came from. I didn't came from the well-being family. So we really strive hard, and it take years for me to be here as well. And the only thing that my grandma used to tell me is that be who you are, stick to the truth, no matter if you're there alone, stick to the truth. If you know it is the truth, stick to that. And most importantly, you should fear God. That's the only way you will succeed in life. So, with these seeds being sowed in my heart through my grandma and alongside with my mother, and I will tell you, I was a very mischievous, a mischievous one from the entire brothers and sisters, the entire family. I was the one. So I have met my grandma, the bad side of my grandma, grandpa, you name it, my uncles. So I'll be the one. I've from caning, okay, to a
Oh
belt,
boy.
to a pipe, you name it. So I was the only thing that I was not be able to sit. I can't sit at one place. So even at home, you will not find me at home. You have to yell out my name. I will be here. I'll be there to the little Kazis as well. Especially those childhood days, I used to play around. So that's the only thing that I remember as a kid being disciplined. Being disciplined, it is very hard to find that in these days, especially when you're talking about parenting. So I'm so blessed that I was in that generation where being disciplined for us is not an abuse. So I'm really
The
thankful that
way of
I
life.
am here. Yeah, I'm here the way I am right now. It's all because of that. So my mom, she plays a very important role in my life, and alongside my dad. Actually, my dad, he lost his battle with cancer in 2011. So that
Sorry to hear
was
that.
the moment. That was the moment that I realized that I have to be the man of the house, being the eldermost. I have my little sister. So since 2011, I was like working side by side with my mom. Since I have 2 years, I have to listen more to her advice, what I have to do. So family is the closest thing to me, and it means a lot to me. So going side by side with my mom, she would tell me this, do that. Even if I have confusion in life, I would go to my mother and ask her, I have this confusion. What should I do? And she would ask me, there are two options. Either if you do this, you will get this. If you do this, you'll get this. So it's up to you to choose. So I would take a night or two to listen and then to decide. So she is that one. And one thing, she is not like that strict mother, but she is also like where we can jokes, we can laugh together. And she loved to teach me so many things about life, how to deal with situations in life, and looking at it rationally, not to lean on to the emotional side as well. So she plays a very important role in my life. And even my dad, he's the one who who introduced me to radio, and he is the one who looked me in the eye and tell me that you are different. You're going to be different. You're different uh, from all
This
my
was your father.
cousins. Yeah, this was my father. He was like, "What do you want to do in life?" He said, "I just said, I don't know, because back in those days I was like into, I wanted to join the Indian Army back then." And he was like, "You're going to join the Indian Army? I don't think so. I have only you're the only son, so I'm not gonna lose you." Okay, I skipped that, and then I'm into arts. Even though I'm into artwork, when I do paintings, when I do sketching, he will not say anything about me. He will not say you're wasting your time and all. But he'll just come, he'll look at those artworks, and he'll appreciate my every effort. That is one thing that I am forever be obliged to my father. I'm forever thankful to my father for listening to me, for encouraging me, and for being there as a friend too. So these are the things. I still remember my dad, what he told me. He said, if you want to be different in life, you have to start with basic responsibility. So back then, when I was a kid, I have to wash my own plate, my own cup. I have to make my own bed. So everything, he'd be like, I used to grumble a lot. I said, I can't do this. Let my sister do it. It's not man's job. He said, it's not about gender. It's about you, your individual contribution. I'm not saying that by doing this, I'm treating you poorly, but you will realize that one day these are the basic responsibilities that we teach you how to take the greater responsibility ahead when you become a man. So now that I realize, from washing my own cups, from washing my own plates, from to making my own beds, now I'm here taking those responsibilities step by step till date.
Wow, I think that old school wisdom, is so missing nowadays. I know that
Yeah.
you're doing your best to bring it back through humor and through your little bits on radio that really inspire all of us so much. But Zach, it's nice to know that piece of your childhood, that part of your story that I don't think a lot of people know.
Yeah,
I think,
and
uh,
some of my friends who are part of Avenues too. Since I was a kid, actually, there is one thing about me that I realized. Even when I met my teacher last year, and she's the one who told me this. Like, I am consistent at one remark. Very talkative in class. That is the consistent remark that I get since I was in class 1 till class 10, 11, 12, you name it. So I couldn't sit at one place, as I told you. First period, first bench. Second period, I'll be at the last bench, entertaining. Back then, it was all jokes. We didn't have phones, so if I have the jokes, it's all me. So like everyone would gather around, listen to my jokes here and there. So that's how it all started, I realized. So when I met my mom, or when I met my teacher, she told me, "You got this job. It's not because of your marks, but your remarks." Very talkative, and still talkative now, but you're getting paid. That's the difference. So it's it's kind of funny, but I realized that beyond those academics performance, there's that small box, that small remark. That is where everyone like ignored. But now it's that small
that's
box that
what
mattered to me.
that's the box that got you here.
Yeah,
Hey, that's a great line. We need to write that down, Zach. That's the box that got you here.
yeah,
I'll I'll tell you what. I think as we head into the last 2-3 minutes of our session with you, what really stands out for me is your positivity. I think everybody loves the fact that you're always in smiles, always in splits. But Zach, I know it isn't always like this, is it? I mean, for those
yeah,
of us who do the kind of work that we do, whether it's public or for
yeah,
our students or on radio, It's
Yeah.
hard, some mornings to get up and smile and get to work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's your mother pushing you out of bed. Sometimes it's your wife. Sometimes it's the kids. For me, I
Yeah.
have my children as well. But I think I want to ask you,
Yeah.
if you had to give anybody some sane advice, some wisdom
Yeah.
on how to tackle those very difficult moments when you know that nothing is certain anymore and you don't want to get up, what would you tell someone to do in that situation?
Okay. There are things that people used to say, your past is your past. But the beautiful part about your past, when you look back, you will realize the milestones, the milestone and that, all those milestones that you've traveled, that you've reached here, they are there for a reason.
Yeah.
From step one to step two to step three, step four, so on and so forth. So when you look back, you will realize, don't look at it from that perspective where, you know, I've done it, I've achieved it, there's nothing there's nothing I can learn more from here. This is the end. But one thing, life is a learning process. We learn life on a daily basis, on a regular basis. Don't push yourself, you know, to the level where other people have reached. When you look at some people who have already reached there, don't look at the level and try to stretch to that level. You have to go step by step. Patience is very important in life.
Step by
And
step.
another thing, when that situation comes where you don't want to do anything, you just want to quit. I've had it. I'm done. You know, there will be time in life. I've hit rock bottom before. I will tell you, Mark. When I hit rock bottom in my life, when my dad passed away, just a few months after my dad passed away, I was like, one thing, I questioned everything. I joined Red FM on as a officially, I joined Red FM in January 2011, 21st of January 2011, and my dad passed away on September 2011, the 26th of September 2011. So imagine, for the man who've been waiting for me to be on radio, I've just started yet. I haven't got a full time slot on radio, on air. I just got that 15-minute slot to be on air. And I still remember, I was like waiting for me to get that full time, to get that full show where my dad will be at home listening to me, feeling proud about what I'm doing. But on September 11, I hit rock bottom when my dad passed away. So it was like, what I'm here for, I'm doing all of this for the man who made me who I am today. So what I'm going to do now? So I was like, I sat there. It's been a week or two. I was like, everything vanished. Every hope, everything vanished at that point of time. And then when I look at my mom, at my sister, and I realize that my father pushed me and he wants me to give my best so that I can be here pursuing my passion, pursuing what I love and what he wants me to do. Who am I not to think about my mother and my sister who are here behind me, looking at me? Someone in life, even if it's your little sister, even if it's your little brother, someone, remember this, someone is looking up at you in life. They are waiting for you. They are looking anxiously for you to act on a certain situation. Your small action, your small positive action, it can change someone's mind and it can ignite a spark in someone's life. So that is very important. And it took me few months to get back on my feet to say, yes, okay, I don't need to dwell in the past, but looking back my past, I've reached here. And the man who made me, who introduced me to radio, he's not here anymore, but I know he's up there looking at me. He's feeling proud. But what I have to do now is to continue my passion because this is the only thing that matters to me. It's not about me anymore. But when you live your life, not only about yourself, but your family, that is something meaningful. The true meaning of life It comes after when you hit rock bottom. When you find there's always a U-turn in each and everyone's life, Mark, I believe. And that's my U-turn. That's my U-turn in life, where everything changed. My perspective to being positive in life. That was my U-turn that changed me, and I am here as I am now.
I think we take a lot of lessons from that. For those of us who have lost parents, for those of us who are rock bottom for many reasons, losing a parent is one avenue to finding yourself hitting rock bottom, but it isn't the only way to get there. There are many ways that people hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
But what you told us was so poignant, and I want to share that with the world, as I think some wisdom that I gathered from your session as well was sometimes we don't do it, we don't rise for ourselves. We rise for someone else.
Yeah.
So if it can't be about you, you make it about somebody else, and maybe that'll drive you into action, because now your responsibility isn't just you, man, woman, girl, boy.
Yeah.
It's somebody else in your life as well. Thank
Yeah.
you, Zach. I have immense respect for you and your wisdom, and I hope this is just the first of many conversations we will have.
Yes, looking forward, Baba.
Yeah, but before we go, I have 5 rapid fire questions for you, and I want to see
Okay.
what you say in response to these questions. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go. Question number 1. Ready?
Yeah.
Question number 1. Your favorite radio station in the country? This is obvious.
Red FM. Red FM, obvious.
Second, your favorite RJ on the air apart from you?
Apart from me, my favorite, that'll be Baban Care of EIR on your radio.
Your favorite rock star?
Batimi Karujan.
Awesome. But Timmy is a singer from the hills as well, somebody who's a legend. Thank you, Bab. Okay. Finally, number 4, I want to ask you, your best friend in the world right now, who would she be? Who would he be?
My best friend in the world right now, that would be Pandap.
The one thing you can't stand about the woman in your life?
That I can't stand about.
Dangerous terrain, huh?
That I can't stand about.
Hey, time is over.
I can't think of any.
Hey, that's a good answer. That's brownie points for you, my friend. Okay, Zach, I think we've had a beautiful session with you. It's time to sign off. Like I said, I hope this is the first of many conversations we will have. This is a very special initiative we call Keeping It Real, which is real conversations with real people that we look up to and admire. But most importantly, we have a live coaching session that happens right after, where we answer 3 questions that young people throw us over the course of the week. If you'd be so kind, I'd like to take one with you right now. We have a guest on the show. His name is Ibasara. If you can help me out. We have partnered with the Meghalaya Model United Nations. This is a youth club that is involved in amazing work for young people. And they bring us 3 meaningful questions of wisdom every week. And I take the onus of answering them as the lead coach at Avenues. But today I'm going to invite you as a special guest to share your wisdom on one of these questions. Are you ready? We'll bring on Moranthial Saka, who is the ambassador for MUN on the program. We'll bring him on right now. If you're there, Mr. Saka, we'd like to have you with us on air. We'll wait for a bit to get him online. There he is.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Mr. Saka. How are you?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. How are you, sir?
All good.
Hello, sir. Hello, Brother Jack.
Hi, Saka.
Hello, sir.
So, Saka, I know that you had questions to ask us, but we're going to ask Zach to help us answer these questions today. We're going to take one answer from you and one question from you, and we'll answer that, and then we'll say bye-bye to Bazak, as he answers this. So you take a pick, Saka. What question would you like to put forward to us? I'll try and answer some of it, and I think Zach will try and answer some of it.
Okay, so the first question has to do with one's passions, and this question is is a little dear to me. And frankly speaking, to all of you and to all the viewers at the moment, I love the one passion that I have is to travel, and traveling the world is one huge passion that I have. And I've been pondering over this question for a while now. So the question to you, to you, sir, and to the both of you, would be, how can one change his or her passion to career? So that is the question. So thank you.
Zach, you want to take it?
Yeah, can I get the question again? How can one
Let's put that up on the screen again.
how can one
Yes,
change
sir.
his or her passion to career? Okay.
Yes.
There we go. I have my take on this, but I will allow the honor to fall on the shoulders of RJ Zach this evening. Zach, all yours.
Okay, when we talk about passion, we need to be rational. That's one thing. When you want to turn it into a career, okay? Because there are people, I will just give you an example. Right now, youngsters, they want to become YouTubers. That's trending. But they have to think main thing about content, their originality. Okay, that's one. Are the content relevant? Are they content? Do they have? Will they have an impact to the society? Will they contribute to the society? That's one. And back to the question you're asking: can one change passion into career? Yes, you can do that, but you need a proper channelization on this. Okay, passion. When you say you're passionate about something, there will be time. Just I've had a word with Mark earlier on the session. There will be time when there are moments where you don't want to get up and to do something that you love to do. What would if that's your career? Everything depends. Everything's on the line. So you have to think whether this passion, the weightage of that passion, and your future. It's not about how you get here. It's not that. The main thing is the passion. It should be a fuel that will lighten up, that will keep your vehicle running alongside if you want to make this into a career. But one more thing, just like you said, uh, you want to, you love to travel. Okay, you love traveling. You love to travel. You want to travel across the world. But one more thing, when you want to turn it into a career, one thing is not about just traveling, showing people places, but it's about culture as well. You need when you visit one place or another, people have different culture. When you tend to exchange a word of wisdom with other people's culture, then you grow, and that's how people know you. So that is one thing. But if you want to make traveling, just like you said, into a career, you need to channelize to do something that is different that nobody has done it, to go into the roots so that people will get hooked. So one thing, if you want to change passion into a career, it will not happen overnight. That is one thing. You have to be rational. You have to do research. You have to get contacts, connections. You have to have the know-how to do it. That is one. Because one thing, my friend, I realized back then, painting was everything that I love. But when it comes to radio, paintings become secondary. So back then, I was passionate about artworks. I was passionate about painting, sketching. From painting, from T-shirt paintings to Jensen paintings, I was into those. So I realized something is missing. And when I got into radio, I realized this is it. Even though right now I used to do side by side those paintings, but that's secondary. So for me, to you, if you're passionate about something, you can make it possible. You can make it into a career. As I've said, you should need to have a blueprint. That is very important. And a goal. Once you have a goal, you realize I am here at point A, I need to get to point B. So when you move from point A to point B, you should not look back at point A. You should go ahead, strive forward. You should make up your mind that this is what I'm going to do. There should not be a paradigm shift when you think about changing your mindset to other things as well alongside. So that's my only advice that I can give you.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Uh, I think
Welcome,
that
Saka.
spoke for all of us as well. And I would like to, I think he's answered the question, but I have a very, very small take on it, if that's okay. Bazak, you're an example of how somebody discovered a passion in life and then chose to, turn that into a career. And there are many people who, like you said, put that into a box. And then you found
Yeah.
that box later on in life and said, okay, this is something that I was meant to do. I'm going to move my camera up a little bit so there's a little bit of, traction here. Okay, here we go. So, Mr. Saka, I think it's very important for us to realize that those of us who are seen as living a career that's passionate are very blessed individuals. I think we're very lucky and very fortunate, and this hasn't happened by accident. You will have one moment in your life, it's a fleeting glimpse, when you will know exactly what your passion is. You will know it, it'll come to you. And I always say the only way to discover a real passion in life that could become a livelihood, that could become a career, is to remember to stay open. A lot of us are very closed, to the idea of what can be a career, what can be a passion, what should be a career, what should be a passion. You've got to stop using words like should. When you say it should be this, you're limiting your horizons. You could say it could be this, and then you clear up your horizons and it becomes totally infinite. So I think it's very important to, number one, stay open. Stay open to experience. A lot of us mistake a hobby for a passion. And we say, hey, maybe this hobby could turn into a passion. Maybe collecting stamps could become a livelihood. But unless you're collecting draconian age stamps that would then sell for millions on the open stock stamp market, it's not going to be a career for you. So separate what is a hobby from what is a passion, from what could be a career. That's really important. I also have learned that it is possible that some passions just don't make money, but they bring you something much more valuable. They bring you well-being into your life. They bring you happiness. And if you are happy, you're able to serve your career much better. Am I right? If you're in a good space in your mind, you take that energy, and remember something, energy doesn't lie. If you're a miserable, sad gentleman or lady, you will carry that energy wherever you go. And whether you like it or not, people can see it a mile away. It starts with the way you walk into a room. So sometimes a hobby is an interest. Sometimes a passion is a career. Sometimes a career could turn into a passion. And sometimes you can have all three things in life and be happy. I don't think we need to limit our horizons and say, your passion must be a career. Hey, you could be a banker and be a musician on the side. You could be an RJ jockey by day, and you could be Rocky by night. I mean, it's completely up to you. So I feel that we add too much weight to the idea of turning a passion into a career, and we forget to do the one thing that passion is supposed to be about. It's about having fun. It's about forgetting about the fact that work is a load, it's a burden. It can be entertaining, it can be enterprising, it can be inspiring. And when you discover it, you have one job and one job only. When you find it, you hold on to it, because when you hold on to it, nobody else has the permission to take that away from you. That's your passion, my friend. Those are your dreams. I know this is not conventional advice, but I do want young people to understand that it is possible to have all three things in life. And you just have to make the time to do all three things. Have the hobby, have the career, have the passion. But if you don't have a passion, find it. I urge you to find it. And you know how you do it? In your 20s, mess up as much as you want. Do whatever you want to do. Experiment with everything. Try and take Bazak's job from him. Try and take my job from me. It's okay. We can all withstand the pressure of competition. but find the idea of being open appealing to yourself. If you're not open, you won't discover the opportunity. If you don't see the opportunity, you may not ever discover your passion. If you don't discover your passion, you may go on to have a career that may not leave you very happy. So, three things. Number one, stay open, experiment, figure it out, explore your horizons, especially early on in life, in your late teens to early 20s, and even into your late 20s. By the time you're 33, 34, you should have your jazz figured out. You should know what it is that you love doing. So don't be too hard on yourself. Unless you're getting married early in life when you have responsibilities, don't be too hard on yourself. Second thing is, when you see the opportunity and you sense the passion, embrace it, own it, learn whatever you can about it. Like Barzak said, make the networks, make the connections, discover more about it, immerse in it, really immerse in it. And number three is to never let it go. Once you find it, make it a part of your life. Find time for it, make the time. So that's how I'd like to answer that question. That's how he'd like to answer that question. And now you probably have two more questions to ask us. So let's go. Zach, if you're free, this is very nice. We could do it all together. Or if you'd like
Yeah.
to step out of the show right now, we're okay with that.
I'm okay.
Super. So
Sir, thank
you
you
have the
so much,
benefit
sir.
of two individuals today. Here we go.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir Mark and Ba Jack, thank you so much. It was a very stimulating, answer, and how Ba Jack mentioned on how to rationalize our passion, how to channelize our passion. That was very necessary. I mean, that touched me really, and then how to be open, how Sir Mark said on how to be open, how to explore all the different aspects of 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 a passion, our hobbies, and our career. So, and in conclusion, with with the both of you saying, that it can happen, it's possible, there's nothing that is not impossible. Thank you so much. And the second question, sir, is, sir, to the both of you, this question is, it's prevalent. It's quite prevalent, and it's quite common in everyone's life. And then at this point in time, uh, with this situation that we are in, I think it is quite it's elevating. So the question is, uh, specifically, to be very specific, teenagers often find themselves daydreaming or dreaming, mostly because they view it as an escape from reality. So, how does one gather the guts or the strength to face the harsh reality? So that is the question, sir.
Well, I'm gonna allow our guest to do the honors first.
Okay. Saka, with regards to your question,
Yes, sir. So was I
I
audible, sir? So was I
let's come again. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Was I audible,
Okay.
sir? Was my question audible?
Yeah. Can you repeat the question again? How does one can gather the guts to
Yes, sir. The
face the
question is,
harsh reality? Okay. So Saka, based on my experience,
yes, sir.
you know what? Before joining radio jockey, for me, all of this that I've done was just a dream. I will tell you how. Back then, when I was a kid, I used to do these acts in front of the mirror. I'll be like a little kid holding the comb in my hand, and my sister will be in behind me, and she'll say, "Do it, do it, do it like the news anchor do." I was like, "Okay." I'll be pretending the news journalist, that something is happening at the back. I'll be reporting on ground. It's like, "Yes, I am Dameshwaram reporting here in Baghdad with regards to this war, as you can see right behind me." That was just for fun. It was just a dream. I couldn't believe I was like, back then, I was just a dreamer. I will tell you the truth about this, okay? Back then, for me, was just a dream to be here, I am, to be on TV, to be on television, to be on the radio, to be on this platform. If you can dream, you know, to all the young minds out there, it's okay to dream. It's okay to have a dream, to dream something. It's good. At least it shows that your mind is open. You're willing to go ahead, leaving the reality behind. But the most important thing is when you dream of something, when you're in a dream world, it's time for you to get back. But what you dream, you have to ask yourself this question. What you dream, one thing, number one, is it, can I convert this dream into a reality? That's one. Two, I dream this dream. Okay, this is my dream. So two, am I capable to handle and to work on this dream? Third, if I am able to dream, will I be able to achieve this dream in reality? So alongside, it's okay to dream, but to pursue the dream, that is the start of hard work. Okay, I may dream that I can be a singer. Okay, that's just a dream. But if I want to make it into a reality, I need to get on my foot. I need to get back on working my vocals. I need to go to music class. I need to go to take classes on my vocals. That's how you measure the dream and reality. So it's okay to dream. You may have you may have so many dreams, but in the end, out of 10 dreams, you think, okay, this is what I dream. These are the 10 dreams out of 10. How many out of the 10 dreams, how many like I can achieve based on my ability? Okay, if I dream to become a Superman, I can't, because that's fiction. You have to be realistic. You have to come back to reality. So suppose if someone dreamed to become a vlogger, so if someone dreamed to become a YouTuber, first and foremost, you need to act to your dream. How? You need to fight. You need to get into yourself, get to know yourself first. Okay, what you're passionate about. Who are you? Once you understand yourself first, then chasing a dream is not impossible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mr.
That was
Saka, I'd appreciate
that
your
was an
help in.
insightful
Welcome,
answer, sir.
welcome, Saka.
Saka, I'm going to take a shot at this, but I'd like to hear that first bit of the question. It had started on a different note and then it became something else. I want to hear that first sentiment. Can you call that out again to me, please?
The first sentence, sir. The first sentence was the
Yes.
first sentence of that very question is teenagers often find themselves daydreaming, mostly because they view it as an escape from the reality.
Yeah, that's
That
what
was
I
the
wanted to focus on. That statement, an escape from reality. So as we get into answering this question, I do want to take this opportunity to say to Bazak, we're very grateful to you. Thank you, RJ Zach, for your time on the show.
I'm honored to be.
Uh,
I'm
Thank
honored
you
to
for
be
your
here in the
wisdom
show.
and your advice. I'm going to ask our producer to allow you to leave your message to the world, and I'll come back to Mr. Saka for his answer. But if you could just be Zach and me on the screen, we have a moment for Zach right now, which we'd like to create. RJ Zach, if you'd be so kind, we want to hear your message to the world. Okay, I'm going to play our theme song. We're going to hopefully get that track on right now. And I'm going to ask you to do the honors. Do you have a message that you'd like to share with the world? Maybe 3 words or less. A very short, high energy message. What would it be?
Okay.
This is a trial.
One, be who you are. Second, be positive. And third, be open-minded.
So I'm going to ask you to choose one message. That's it. 3 words. You're going to point to the camera and you're going to give your message to the world. Are you ready?
Okay, just one message.
Just one
Just
message.
one word.
3 words, 4 words, but one statement. That's it. Okay, that's our message
Okay.
to the world. I'm going to try and put our music on. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very inspiring session of Keeping It Real with the man to my left, RJ Zach, signing in from Red FM 93.5. It's rocking. No, we were not sponsored by Red FM, that's for sure. Zach, Zach has a message to the world, and his message is 1, 2, 3.
Life is brutal. Be positive, be open minded, and be yourself.
Be you.
Yes.
Give me 5, Zach.
High five.
High five, high five. All the best. Signing out with you.
Th-
We'll see you
Thank you so
another
much,
day, another
Babak.
time.
Yes, I'm really honored to
Good.
be part of Keeping It Real, and I'm looking forward for more conversations.
Same
Thank you.
here. See you soon. Ciao. Awesome. That was a beautiful sign out by the one and only Zach. And we are back to our life coaching segment with Meghalaya Model United Nations and my dear friend, Mr. Saka, who is quite the debater and speaker. Mr. Saka, are you there? We can't hear you. I think we're having audio issues with Mr. Saka. Let's see where he is. Well, we seem to have lost him, but I think, Eva, if you can flash the question on the screen right now, maybe we could attempt to answer it. How does one gather the guts to face the harsh reality of life? If Mr. Saka is back online with us, we can take a look at, maybe involving him in the conversation. That would be nice. And if not, well, I'm going to give it my best shot. So when we think of life in terms of fantasy and reality, dreams and a career, we're actually putting life into very solid boxes, and I'm not a very big fan of doing stuff like that. Hi, Mr. Saka. Good to have you back. Am I audible?
Hello, sir. Thank you. So there was a glitch, sir. So I'm very sorry for that, sir.
No problem at all. So, Mr. Saka, we were talking about how you said teenagers turn to daydreaming as an escape from the harsh realities of life, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I want to talk about what we know is reality. And of course, reality means different things to different people depending upon what philosophy or what faith system you believe in. But I think what's real right now is this moment. We're living it right now. And this moment has come only to you. It chose you, of all people, to bestow you with an opportunity to learn something. Sometimes a moment is a blessing, and you think to yourself, wow, what a beautiful time in my life. What a beautiful opportunity this was. What a beautiful lesson I've learned. And sometimes you think to yourself, how the heck did I get here? What did I do to deserve this? And sometimes you think to yourself, this is it. I can't do this anymore. I'm done, These are what I call the crises in life, Sometimes it's emotional, losing someone you love, losing someone you care about, losing a parent to death, perhaps, losing a loved one to a disease, to a sickness. It could be career, losing a job that you have spent all your time working for, and suddenly the organization shuts down or tells you that you're not needed. It could be in your relationship, things falling apart and you're not knowing where to turn to because your partner isn't who you thought she would be or he would be. It could be in academics and campuses. Your marks and your scores are the lowest in your classroom, and not for your own fault. You have problems at home and you don't know how to cope. It could even be as simple as being bullied in school, which actually isn't a very simple thing. It's a very serious affair that needs to be thought about and talked about much more widely. So crisis can come to us in many different ways. And if you're looking at how you face the harsh reality, use the word harsh. If we keep looking at life as a moment that we experience right now, in this moment, what are we feeling? We're either feeling immense loss, or we're feeling immense happiness, or we are feeling immense grief, or we're feeling fear. It's going to be one of these four things. You may choose to add on a few more, adjectives and verbs, but for now, I'm going to stick to these four things. It'll be a fear, it'll be something you're amazed by, or it'll be something that makes you feel what we call happy. If we keep living our life in moments that we define in these boxes, what we're saying is crisis doesn't teach you anything. Problems are meant to be avoided. The harshness of a situation should be ostracized from your life, not something you should face. And there's no acceptance. So I want everyone to know that reality is not harsh. This is my own opinion. Maybe it'll serve you, and I hope it helps you. Reality isn't harsh or kind or happy or sad. Reality just is what it is. It's the moment you're in. If you start to categorize every moment in your life as good or bad, you will look back on a ton of good memories and a ton of bad moments. You will look back on life as a blanket of milestones and an abyss of despair. It's a very sad way to live life, because you're not accepting of the fact that of all the people in the world, this moment chose you. You were chosen to face this moment. Whether it is grief or despair or sadness, the one thing you need to take into the world with you as you head into life is the word acceptance. And I've said this in a few other talks as well in the past, that when we look at life like we were the ocean, the ocean is calm, it's powerful, it lies low. With one single sweep of a current, it can move masses of land. And with a massive tide, it can destroy nations. But it's also very accepting of everything we throw into it. It's very accepting of all the garbage we put into it. It's a very sad way that we live with our oceans. And I hate to use the metaphor, but to bend like a willow tree and never break, to accept like an ocean and continue to flow, to rise like the mountains that come out of undulated landscapes that are because earth plates have come together out of stress, and they create these beautiful, majestic scenes of nature, the mountain peaks on our earth. I think every situation in life is either building you up or shaking you down so you can learn the lesson. So the question shouldn't be, in my opinion, how do I face the harsh reality of life? I think the question should be, how do I learn to accept life for what it is? And the moment we turn our situations away from resistance, there's a saying, and it goes, what you resist persists. This is so true. If you're going to fight it, it'll come back with a bang. It'll come back to teach you a lesson. Life is so hard on you because it knows you have not learned your lesson. You've not learned how to pay back your loans on time. You've not learned how to respect the women and men in your life. You've not learned how to show your parents that they are admired and respected by you. You've not learned how to take your academics seriously and the privilege you've been given and not to take it for granted. You've not learned these things. So what does life do? It throws you something that forces you to level up. It forces you to learn something. And that is what we call a harsh reality. Who brings it on us? No one. It's how we look at it that shapes it. If you're looking at it as something harsh, it's going to be harsh. If you're going to look at it as something that's happy, that's teaching you something, you will embrace it like a student does. What does a student do, Mr. Saka? What is a student's primary job in life?
Learn, sir, learn. Educate.
I'd say a student's path in life is to grow, is to water the ground you walk on, so the grass where you stand is greenest, no matter what the circumstances are, what the problems are. So my advice would be, again, the second thing, while you learn to accept that life just is what it is, the second thing you must learn to accept is how you label something can be very dangerous. If you accept all things as just being what they are, it's a moment that will pass. You will come to the second rule that I follow in life, and that is, this too shall pass. But if it doesn't pass with meaning, you haven't lived that moment well. And that brings me to my third point, which is to live in grace, with grace. When you say you live with grace, it means you look at everything that's thrown your way, you embrace it no matter what the situation is, and you choose to see it as a blessing and choose to resist the urge to look at it as something you must fight. No matter what you do, that circumstance is going to come to you and is going to teach you what it has to, whether you like it or not. There's a beautiful saying, it's called, there's a question, it's called, how do you choose to suffer? Do you choose to suffer kindly, or you choose to suffer in anger? How do you choose to suffer? Do you choose to suffer with grace, or do you choose to suffer with immense regret? I think that should be our take from this conversation. Reality is what you make of it. It could be harsh if you choose to look at it as harsh. It could be a lesson that's been waiting to be taught to you if you choose to look at it as a lesson in life. No matter what it is, accepting the moments we're in for what they are is a great way to start. So that's number one, acceptance. Number two, embracing that moment and not putting it into a box. Feel it, feel the feelings, acknowledge the emotions, but make sure you get back up and you face the world and you conquer your challenges, because nobody else but you, my friends, have the capacity to get back up and face your challenges. That's on you. And number three is to suffer with grace. When you suffer with grace, you're learning with love, and suffering becomes learning. As long as we look at life like that, I think we're in the right space. Thank you, Mr. Saka. I hope that was helpful.
Yes, thank you so much. That was such an a very stimulating answers. Thank you so much. It's the way, the answers that you put on, how to, the crux of that, of your message was to accept the moments, of accept, of how do one accept, it is very important, as you have mentioned, that one has to accept as what as is. So it is very important, uh, and yes, and with I would like to and record what Bajek said, how to pursue and how to act for dreams. So it was
thank you, Mr. Saka.
Insightful.
I think that
answers.
The connection is very unclear at your end. We aren't able to hear you. I believe that your colleague and founder of MMUN is joining us next, Meshwa Mauthaw. So yes, I'm going to say that I've enjoyed speaking with you, and we've enjoyed this little session of 2 questions. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming online, and thank you for being part of the season finale. So all the best. As you all know, the Meghalaya Model United Nations has been our partner at Avenues for our weekly coaching questions. Their job has been to curate some meaningful questions from the world around us, from young people and their struggles through life and their opportunities and milestones. And my job has been to try and provide some amount of wisdom, some amount of advice from my own journey as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a dad, as a husband, and most importantly, as a leader for my team, to try and bring some value into the world through these weekly conversations. This is episode 10 of our very first season of Keeping It Real. We would not be here without each of you. I'm so grateful that you chose to sign in even today and for the last 10 weeks. Thank you, MMUN. I think I have the distinct privilege of now introducing the founder of MMUN, a young gentleman who has the world's weight on his shoulders, but he carries it with elan and with grace. Meshwa Malthaw is the founder and current president of the Meghalaya Model United Nations, and he joins me for the last question of the evening. Meshwa, if you're there, we'd love to have you online.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How are you, fellow founder?
I'm fine, fellow founder. It's been a very nice evening, sir. Followed it from minute one, and it's so inspirational.
We have had some very special guests, Meshwa, like you said, and I think, like all things avenues, we must end on a note of youth and the power of young people.
Sir.
Who better than you, my friend, to represent that?
Thank you for the honor, sir.
I want to acknowledge your role in keeping it real such a success in its first season. Meshwa, I think what you've done to create a movement with us, where every week we come together to talk about what's really affecting young people, has been so beautifully received. I don't know if you've seen the numbers, but our episodes have been watched over 30,000 times in the last 2 months, 3 months. We've interviewed over 50 special guests, and I think we've fielded over 24 of your questions, and this will make it question number 25. So Meshwa, if you're still online, I think I'll give you the floor to say a few words and to take us into the next question.
So it's been a really good journey with Avenues, and firstly, I think so I should take this privilege to thank the whole team. I think so we had a special team for this project with Avenues. So I would like to thank everyone who came online on behalf of us, from Ankita, Oditi, Rishita, Emily, Mona Lisa, and Saka today, and everyone who's worked passionately, all of the ambassadors who sent in their questions. I couldn't have done it alone. I'll be very honest with you, sir. I'll be very honest. Those questions, I just played a role of just bringing them together and then just making sure we have a good discussions before we bring out the questions. It goes out to all of them, all of the people who have replied online in our stories. And importantly, I would like to thank you and Team Avenues for the opportunity, as well as for having and making a segment for the youth. I think so. What the issues that the youth face today is, we don't have people answering our questions. Yes, no doubt, some are lucky enough to have parents who are understanding, who treat them like friends. But some way or the other, most of us, I would say in a very general way, don't have those kind of parents. We look at our parents as a very authoritative figure, and it's very difficult for us to approach them with these kind of questions, especially when it comes down to those relationship questions, which kept you on your toes most of the time.
Oh,
really, those questions are really good.
Almost had me in trouble, huh?
We had a lot of fun. And then again, sir, I'll be very honest, the viewers, I think so, the feedback, the personal feedback I got from everyone who attended the session and went live with you, and everyone who asked those questions, they've been answered fantastically, sir. All of them were so satisfied. And I tell you, this is my experience and my talking to all of those who went live. They had a change in their life, a small change, if not a big change, after their live session with you, sir. That's my personal thing that I'm saying with you. The way they approach life every day, I think so that has made a very big change in their life, and a big thank you for you. I think so they are all thankful to me, and I think they're all joining live with me today.
Really made my day. Thank you so much, Meshwa. I mean, all we do is try and, offer our own experiences to help other people. And, the team now at Avenues, our life coaches, our trainers, they all love you guys. So we're always family, Meshwa. For MMUN, Avenues is family. You need anything from us, we're always here for you guys. And like you said, to every speaker who chose to put me in trouble with your relationship questions, I remember your names. Next time you come to me, I know what I'm going to tell you guys. But it was a beautiful experience. Everyone from, like you said, Oditi to Emily to Mona Lisa to Mr. Saka. There's just been so many people who have come online. I've gotten to know the community at MMUN. I've gotten to see how you all operate so professionally. This is the way to build a youth enterprise. You're doing a phenomenal job and we commend it. This is the way.
Thank you, sir.
So,
So,
Meshwa, question, the last question of the season
of the
rests
season,
on your shoulders.
and
Let's
I
make it
think this
fun.
is somehow, yeah, I think so. It's somehow personal to me also because I've encountered this. I think so. After my 10 board results, I really did face this question, and I really feel it's going to be very important. Especially, I took these questions and I really pushed this question, knowing that the entrance exams are coming up for JEE and NEET. The board results were out. So a lot of our ambassadors this year got their board results also. So personally, sir, how does a youth, or how does someone overcome, over our guilt of not being able to live up to our expectations, to our parents' expectation, to our family's expectation? How do we overcome that guilt, sir? Firstly, to ourselves when we fail. Sometimes, let's say I expected a lot in my 10 boards and I couldn't deliver what I expected. So it hurt me a bit, it pushed me back a bit. And I think so it's stuck on up till until my 12th, it's stuck on. I think so graduation turned differently. But now in graduation, I'm trying to pick up the pace again. But how does someone really overcome quickly from that, sir, and not really go into a phase where you really feel not worthy anymore, sir?
Meshwa, this is a beautiful question. I think it's something that we all struggle with, even as adults, even as grown-ups, and something that we don't really, ever let go of. But I'm going to try and do justice, and I'm so grateful I have the opportunity to share something personal, I guess, for this answer. When I was growing up, I'm going to use my own life as a template and maybe try and take some wisdom out of there. Hopefully, it helps all of you. With me, I just keep it real, like the show says. There's nothing from a book, nothing from Google. It's just from Mark's life and all my mess ups and my the other ups, and I try and share from there. When I was much younger, and I was heading into my 11th year in school, class 11, class 12. I had just finished my boards. I remember finding this one moment, and I don't think I've talked about this, but I'll talk about it here, all right? And Meshwa, if you'd like to mute your mic perhaps so that we can have the audio clear for this bit, that would be nice. Thank you. Yeah, so there was a production in school. We had something called an annual school concert that we would all have to participate in or volunteer to participate in. And I remember the voice in my own head that would always tell me in school, Mark, you're a slow coach, you're a mediocre student. My earliest memory of school was a teacher literally, picking me up by my left ear, shaking my face, taking my book and throwing it on the floor and saying, Mark, you're a slow coach. These words, slow coach, they have stuck with me through life. And I think we talk about expectations and we always speak about how we might be letting somebody else's expectations down, somebody else's feelings down, somebody else's dreams down. But we also learn to talk to ourselves based on how people talk to us. So everywhere I'd go, I'd tell myself that I was a slow coach, that I wouldn't get very far in life, that I'd be slow, that I'd grow slowly. And my expectations going into senior school were very poor. I was so bad at my academics. I sucked so bad, at least in my mathematics and my Hindi, that in class 6, I did the risky experiment of changing my marks on my report card and trying to go home. And I tried to fool my dad, and I told my dad, I don't know where that ink came from. It must have happened by accident. I think the teacher was in a rush. And my father, being the genius that he was, and he was a genius, he was a very intelligent man. He went straight down to the percentage section And he said, but how come your percentage isn't matching up, Mark? What's going on? And I remember feeling so scared, Meshwa. I didn't know what was going to happen. And my dad was a disciplinarian, you know, he's very strict with me. So he said, wait now, I'm going to call the principal. I'm going to tell the principal, how dare he not give you the percentage you deserve? How can they get your marks wrong like this? To my father, I was very happy. Yes, yes, please do that. Please do that. I ran away from there and I hid in a small little corner of a outdoor cement, you know, corridor outside our house, trying to hide from my dad. I was listening to him, you know, or using a landline to call the school and find out what exactly happened with my son. I was so scared. I thought I was going to be beaten, you know. And sure enough, uh, I think it became big news across school that Mark Stone had changed his marks. And I was the laughing stock of the school for a while. That was also the year I got my first very major beating from a principal. It was the first year that I got expelled, suspended, sorry, for a few days because I decided to do something naughty in school. Um, and I'll never forget how that built my own sense of expectation. I thought I had zero expectations from myself, you know. I didn't think I was going to do very well anyway. And then it took one very special teacher in class 10 to look at me, and I say this wherever I have the opportunity because this is so important. You know how Zach was saying it takes one person to change your life? It takes one voice to lift you up. It takes one smile to show you daylight. I really believe in that. You know, my mother would always write to me every birthday. I would have my examinations right in the middle of my birthday. 24th of May would be the day I'd have my worst exams, Hindi or maths, always, without fail, every year. And I suffered through that. I'd never have a good birthday. Now I'm going to cut a very long story short and tell you, there were three very significant people in my life who helped me learn what it meant to have a good voice in your head. Because all my life, the voices in school and the voices of my teachers weren't very positive. I set my expectations of myself by allowing myself to believe what everyone told me about who I was going to be. So I was going to be a slow coach, or I was going to be a failure, I was going to be a slow learner, I was going to be somebody who would not make it in life. I was all of these things because my teachers made me feel that way. Not all of them. Some of them were gems and tried to push me. But you know what they say, the bad words, the bad phrases, the bad emotions, those things stick. So expectation for me was very poor, was very low. And it took a teacher to look at me and really shake me out of my shell. And he figured out a different way of teaching me math. He figured out a different way of teaching me physics. And because I learned to love it, I learned to love studying. And because I learned to love studying, I think I was much kinder to my father who would teach me my Hindi. You know, he'd try and get me through school. And he really saw that if I were focused, like, Dr. Masara had said, if I was focused and I wasn't distracted, I could do amazing things. But it took all these voices to build me up and to break me down too. Now, why does this apply to this question? Let me tell you. The worst memory was of a principal who slapped me on the face and told me, you will be trouble for everybody under the sun. Everywhere I went, every time I thought I'd do something new with my life, I would remember that slap. I would feel it on my ear and on my eye and on my face. I'd remember the look in this person's eyes and I'd remember these words. You will be trouble for everybody under the sun. Imagine saying that to anyone right now, Meshwa. Imagine telling somebody you will be trouble for the rest of your life, you will be trouble. And imagine how that could scar a young boy, class 6, class 7. So weak on confidence, so weak on self-esteem. It scarred me for life, man. I mean, there was a point where I felt like I wasn't capable of doing anything. And it hit me hardest when I was alone in Calcutta and I didn't have friends to turn to. I didn't have family. I didn't have anyone to go and reach out to. And I remember these words, you'll be trouble, you'll be trouble, you're a slow coach, you're a slow coach. Not that it would drive me, off the wall or off my rocker, but it really, really made me feel like I didn't deserve much in life. And I want to leave you with that. I want to tell you that if I could go from being a lost, lonely teenage boy of 16 on the streets of Calcutta, not having anything in terms of, a life to look forward to, I really thought that I would be nobody. If someone like me can go from that position, even having loving parents, having great teachers who have tried to push me through, it's still very, very true that a lot of young people like me when I was 16 don't think very highly about themselves. We don't think we'll be capable of doing much. We don't expect great things from our lives. I think over the years that's gotten better. A lot of us are now allowed to dream. Our parents are kinder, like my parents were. They allow you to, rise with your dreams and fly with your wings, and they try and catch you if you fall. If you have parents like that, it's a blessing. You're very lucky. But the expectations that you most have to struggle with in life are the expectations that you put on your own shoulders. A lot of people say the expectations are too high, it's difficult to reach that, and if we don't reach it, we fall. But that's not the truth, Meshwa. For a lot of people, the expectations are too low. And that's the reality we need to learn to look at. That a lot of your friends out there probably don't think much of where they're going to be in life. And those that do are so focused and single-minded about it that if there's a small little failure, if there's a small little misstep, if there's a small little accident along, so hard on yourself, you're so brutal on yourself, you feel like it's not worth stepping up and stepping forward in life. You just want to give up. So expectation has two sides to it. One is where you think too less of yourself and expect too little. And one where you expect the sun, the earth, the moon, the stars, and the sky. And if you fall short of the stars, people say, hey, you might land on the moon. I love that phrase, but it's complete bunkum. I think as far as I'm concerned, we have to remember your expectations come from you first. If they're coming from anybody else in your life, you've given somebody else the power to dictate your reality for you. Somebody else has the power to tell you who you're going to be. Somebody else has the key to your heart, to your mind, and your soul, and their words are the narrative that will rule your life. If you're happy with doing that, you really have something to think about. It means you're living for somebody else. It means you're living for that magical word called approval. And approval never, the need for approval, I think, never ends until we're happy with where we are. Until you're happy with where you are, you will constantly think that seeking approval from a colleague, from a boss, from a peer, from a friend, from a lover is the way to go. But if you are not able to handle the crisis, I'm going to call it a crisis, the crisis of emotions that come with not meeting the goals you set up for yourself, you're saying that you're too proud and you're too arrogant to accept that it is possible to fail. We don't learn from the wins. We learn so little from the victories. What we learn from are the failures. What we learn from are the difficult times that help us appreciate the good times. It puts things into perspective for us. So as you head into life, if you've had a narrative where someone has told you, you're not worthy, you're not capable. If you were with me right now, I'd put my arms on your shoulders, I'd look you in the eye and say, you have my permission. You have my permission to tell the world that you will be everything you know you can be. You don't need anybody else's permission. You just need your own. And if you want somebody else's permission, go. You have it. You have mine. You are capable, you are worthy, you are brave, and you will conquer your challenges. That's why you're here now. You're here now because you conquered challenges. Because you chose to rise instead of falling. You chose to walk to this point in your life, didn't you? You're here by choice. You could say your parents forced you to get here, but you could have also forced them not to. You're here because you chose to. So whenever you feel like you're in a position where you're going to fail yourself and you're going to let down yourself by letting down your guard on your expectations, remember, the word expectation itself is so misunderstood. We use it as a benchmark to grade our lives. You don't level up by meeting an expectation. You know how you level up in life? You level up in life by learning to embrace a failure. That's how you level up. If you're going to level up in life by saying, I hit my milestone, yay, beat our banners, blow our trumpets, let's pat ourselves on the back and say, well done, congratulations. You're living in a false world of reality where recognition is so temporary. You have to go chasing the next best thing for the next best acknowledgement, for the next best step. You're constantly chasing it because success is never permanent. Your recognition is never permanent. You recognize today, 10 minutes later, somebody else has the bigger headline, the bigger story, the bigger message, the bigger MUN, the bigger community, the bigger objectives, the bigger company, the bigger team, the bigger salary. It could go on. It never stops. You have to define not the expectations. I want you to turn that question around. Instead of asking yourself, how do I deal with the challenge of failing an expectation? Turn that around and say to yourself, how do I learn to move on from failure? Instead of saying, how do I fail expectation and move on, turn that into something like, how do I choose to look at my moment in time now? How do I choose to look at it? Do I look at it as a failure, as a success? Or do I say to myself, there are only two kinds of things in the world? Something you learn from and something you don't. That's it. If you look at life as something you're losing in or something you're winning in, that's a very small binary paradox that I'd hate to live in. I think we're just the sum of our experiences. That's all, Meshwa. So don't set your reality based on somebody else's expectation of you. Somebody else's opinion of you is not your reality. The day you acknowledge this is the day you set yourself free from the chains of your past. Because those are chains. They hold you down, Would you take a bird and chain it and hold it in a cage, or would you let it fly? Your ability to let yourself fly is you unshackling the chains of your past. Only you can do that for yourself. Someone can come into your life. I can come into your life and shake you up and say, you are capable and you are worthy. But till you feel it in your heart, till you believe it in your soul, till you walk that in every step you take and you say to yourself, I don't care where I'm going. I know I'm getting there. If you don't take that principle into life, I'm afraid every step of the way is going to be a measurement against an expectation that somebody else set for you, for your life, that you will live by your standards. Can you imagine that? Isn't that horrible? Your standards and your happiness, your joy and your pain must emerge from you, must be embraced by you. And the best way to do this is to remember the statement that I use with everybody I talk to. In the next 2 years, you are the only person who will live with the choices you make. Nobody else. You're going to live with those consequences. So if you're going to live your life looking for acknowledgement and desperately seeking it, you know how you come across? You come across insecure. You come across arrogant. You come across as constantly seeking recognition. Sometimes you come across as a name dropper. You come across as somebody who just is about the network. Let your work speak for itself. Let the acknowledgement come in the time it's meant to come. Everybody has perfect timing in their lives. One step at a time, one breath at a time, one moment at a time. If you live those moments well, if you embrace your failures, and I don't mean embrace your failures like everybody says, I mean, look at that failure Tell that failure, I love you. You are teaching me something and I will get through this. You will take me there to where I need to get. Tell that to your failure. When you take life like that, I have a beautiful phrase that I love to use and I will use it to end this session. You always have the power to rewrite your agreement with who you are. We always make an agreement about who we think we're becoming in the quiet confines of our minds. Those are what you call expectations. You're always in charge of rewriting that. You're always in charge of rewriting your story. And remember, a lot of people may tell your story for you, but only you will live it. If you're going to live it, embrace it. I'm going to leave it at that.
I think so. That's one of the most powerful thing I've heard in a very long time, sir. One of the most powerful thing, and I believe it not only gave me an insight for whatever has happened, but prepared me for what is going to happen, sir. I think so. That
Perfect
message
timing, my friend,
is
for all
so
things.
enlightening to me, and I think now I realize what do the people who come on live, they tell me the experience, and I ask them the experience. I got that feeling, so that renewed, rejuvenate, and I feel like I can do anything right now. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, you can,
And
Meshwa.
maybe let's do this, sir. Every time you ask everyone who comes in your everyone you ask everyone who comes on the show to give their message. So can I take the privilege and ask your 3 words message to the world today, sir,
This
before we
is
end?
so sweet, Peshwa. I love this. Thank you so much. This is very, very kind of you. Before we sign off from our sessions, Meshwa, I want to invite MMUN and you, if you'd be so kind to join us again for season 2 when we begin it. I'm sure you'd love to come on board again.
Definitely, sir. The team would love to come back, but let's maybe a lot more new faces you might see, sir, for season 2. We might have a
That-
small reshuffle of the team.
That would be beautiful. I look forward to meeting all your friends and all your colleagues. So, Meshwa, I'm going to let you do the honors then. If you'd like to close the session, this first edition of Keeping It Real, season finale, I do have a message. I think I might have one. What do you say? Should we call it a show?
Shall we, sir? But I don't have the music on my end, so I need the music from your end, sir. Really sad.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay, I'm going to put on the track for you. I'm going to play this for you, and I'm going to ask you to roll out our exit clip. Are you ready, Meshwa? Just a second.
Yes,
Let
sir.
me put this up for everyone. Here we go. That's our music, folks. Meshwa,
Okay,
something you'd
Mark,
like to say?
Mark, sir, your message to the world today.
I have one thing to say to everyone who has tuned in. Don't forget, keep it real. Keep it real, folks. Keep it real. Thanks, Meshwa. It's been a pleasure and a privilege, and I look forward to joining you again. So, folks, that's a wrap of season 1. That was episode 10. I hope you enjoyed the wisdom from all our guests. To every one of our guests who signed in, thank you. To every question that was asked, thank you. To all the members on the team at Avenues who have chosen to give up time to be a part of this initiative, thank you. To my production head at Avenues, Iba Sara Kharkumar, thank you. You're a superstar and you know it. To Raj Karmi, who helped us put the show together and handle our comments online, thank you. To our academic team, our content team, our research division, and our consultancy team, and all the operators and volunteers out there at Avenues who are doing their thing to help in times of crisis. We love you guys, we respect your work, and we look forward to doing great things together. Finally, to my life coaches and my colleagues on the team, where would we be without you? You're the reason for the show, and you're the reason we do all of this. This has been a beautiful first season. I can't help but be grateful. And on that note, I guess I say thank you on behalf of Avenues, on behalf of our team. Thank you on behalf of Meghalaya Model United Nations. Thank you on behalf of our guests. This is Mark Stone signing out.